off of Renato Vega, and it spins off, and then it goes in, then that goal would have been given. That's extraordinary. That's the first time that we've seen that in a game. I don't think most people, when it came up on the screen, knew what that was. It's like this little EKG that decides whether or not the ball came off the ball or off the head of the defender or not. It was absolutely incredible, and that's just sort of the granular detail. Some people have found it, I don't want to say distasteful, but annoying that the offside technology and these marginal decisions. This literally comes down to if this comes off of enough of Renato Vega's hair to determine whether or not Croatia goes through or not. I mean, that is a level of detail that I don't think the founders of the game really had in mind, but that's what decided the game today. It's extraordinary. I do think it was the correct decision. I think it was.
Cello, you played the game. If you were on the pitch and you were playing for Croatia,
you need to get a haircut. You need to get a haircut if you play now.
I don't want
all defenders have to get a haircut now.
Hits it, it's there. You know what? I don't know. I saw the EKG and I'm like, is my chest? I wasn't sure if it was me or
it's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie.
Give it compression.
Yeah, no kidding. 2, 3. You know, I remember the days where they said, we want more goals. We're trying to create more goals. Now you put a chip on the ball, so if it nicks one little ponytail, it's not a goal. It's an offside by a toenail. So are we advancing to help soccer, or are we stopping it and are we hurting it now? Because I mean, every little inch.
I mean, I agree with you. I think the point, though, is as long as the technology is used in the same way each time, then it is fair.
But we said that about VAR. Did we not?
I agree.
Last night in the USA game, the VAR reached out to the referee. The referee made the call. So now let's take that into every corner kick, and we saw it today, grabbing guys, pulling guys down. There's going to be a penalty in every situation possible. So the VAR was made for the goal line technology. It wasn't made for you to be offside by my little elbow here or my shoe. You know what I mean? I think we're getting to a point where it's getting carried away. Listen, I thought it was cool. I thought it was my soccer nerd.
It was great drama, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great drama. Yeah. But then, I mean, I'm glad they showed it, because if they didn't show it, I would have been like, what are you guys talking about? But I'm glad they showed the EKG. If you want to do more compressions, we're good. But I thought this VAR was supposed to create and help the game of soccer, not hurt it as much as I think it's hurting it a little bit now.
Because it also, I'm not going to say detracted, because it did provide the drama, as we've said, but actually it was going to be a thrilling end to the game anyway. Ramos scoring a late penalty. Croatia were winning 1-0, weren't they? In, I think it was the 53rd minute when they scored the goal through Perisic. Even without this was a thrilling game in the second half.
Yeah, in the second half, it was two really good teams throwing haymakers at each other. There were periods that Croatia dominated, and Diogo Costa made 2 absolutely brilliant saves to keep the scoreline as it was. Croatia got their goal. They pushed really well. Then Portugal had their spell where they played really well. Then, you know, VAR gets involved with another penalty situation. I think that was probably more of a correct decision.
Yeah, 100%.
Renato Vega was definitely pulled to the ground there in that situation. I thought that was a correct call. So 1-1, Ronaldo finally gets his World Cup knockout round goal. He's 41. He's finally scored the World Cup knockout round goal. Then, as you mentioned, from a drama standpoint, he gets subbed off for the first time in the tournament in a knockout round
that's
game.
when he went for Portugal.
Right, all of a sudden became a big Portugal fan. No, I'm kidding. But then, you know, Bruno Fernandes got taken off. Vitinha got taken off. Roberto Martinez, who took all sorts of criticism throughout this tournament for not making the big calls, makes all of them in this game. Ramos rewards his faith with a penalty, or with a goal, a great header on a great cross from Rafael Leao. And then at 2-1, Croatia gets one, and then we have the madness with VAR. This was, the first half wasn't great, but in terms of second halves of a game, going to 109 minutes or whatever it was, as entertaining of a game as we've seen at this tournament, and one of the better, I guess we can call them early knockout round games that we've seen. Just in
on the out to the right-hand side to Cherkati, and his ball to Boss is just deflected out for another Australian throw-in. And Jordan Boss, playing on the right-hand side, usually a left full-back or left wing-back, so influential against Paraguay, and that could be where Australia's outlet is, Chris.
Yep, absolutely. So they had the freedom to play, though, with the way that Paraguay set up and got forward to good effect. But yeah, it's how that front line of Australia clicks, which is going to have a massive bearing on this game. I'm not so sure what I've seen of Nkundu, whether he is a central striker, not so good with his back to goal, but he is a box of tricks, and he does have that great pace to get in behind the back line of Egypt.
Egypt lofting the ball forward, not able to get on it, Marmoush, though, but they will try and go again, crowded out by Australian golden shirts. Marmoush, as he tried to get the ball forward, It's a little bit scrappy these opening couple of minutes, but the game will settle, I'm sure, in this wonderful arena that is the Dallas Stadium. One of the few stadiums here at the World Cup with a roof, so it's about 22 degrees in here, about 40 degrees outside, so I'm delighted that we have a nice cool conditions for us.
Yeah, is this your first game inside?
At this tournament, yes. I have been inside once before in Montreal.
Yeah, I mean, it's slightly different in Scotland where we work, isn't it?
It's not quite so pleasant for very different reasons. Could do without the aircon, the natural aircon in Scotland. But a huge big screen towers over the pitch here in Dallas. It's a wonderful view. Biggest screen, are you saying, in North America? Because
well,
Boston have been trying to claim that as well.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty big anyway, isn't it?
It's huge, absolutely huge. Egypt with the ball just in their own half, trying to string some possession together. Back it goes to goalkeeper Mustafa Shobir.
I mean, the Egypt game plan this World Cup has been counter-attack, sit-in, and then they have that serious pace, don't they? Mamouche and Salah.
Trying to use that to their effect. Releasing Ashur down that right-hand side, but Suter across quickly to knock it out before it got into the feet of Ashur. Egypt now spraying the ball from right to left onto the Karim Hafez on this left-hand side. And now to Atia, back across the midfield. And again over to the right to Hani, the fullback. Flicks it in, looking for the little run of Zico.
Yeah, I think those quick switches of play really important for Egypt.
Now it's Australia. The pace of Virankunda, and Shobir's come out to try and claim it. Didn't bounce in his favour into the penalty area, so he's just had to kick it wide and out. So Australia get a throw in midway between the halfway line and the edge of the penalty area. And it does look like a game that both sets of teams will be quite happy to just utilise the pace in the forward areas.
Yeah, I think so. It's, you know, in many respects the way this tournament has been, in the way both teams have played. It is who parks the bus the best, who makes the most of their opportunities when they do come along.
Well, it's two teams who are separated by just one place in the official world rankings. Australia 27th as a shot comes in from distance, from out of absolutely nowhere. Volpato from 25-30 yards strikes it beautifully, and it skims off the top of the crossbar. What an effort.
He's so unlucky, isn't he? Comes short in between the two central midfielders of Egypt. Ball fed to him on the half turn, 25-28 yards out, left-footed, and it skimmed the top of the crossbar. I'm not sure that Jobert was going to keep that one out.
It dipped so perfectly towards the end and just off the top of the bar, and I think you're right. I don't think Shobir was getting a hand to that at all. Had it dipped any further, that's the best chance of the opening 5 minutes come the way of Australia. Volpato with it.
It's not even a chance, really, is it? It's just brilliant play. He got in between the Egypt midfield and that back line. Just playing a little bit off Virankunda. Volpato up top. That would improve his popularity, I think, in Australia, had he popped that one in, wouldn't it?
I think it might have. Christian Volpato, who turned down the opportunity to play for Australia before the World Cup 4 years ago. He is of dual nationality, could play for Italy, but when Italy didn't make this World Cup, he decided that perhaps he might play for Australia. Just his 4th cap, and that would have been a sensational first goal in Australian colours had that dipped in. But now they come forward again through Boss on this right-hand side, and he's managed to flick around the defender, and that is brilliant recovery work from Rabia. It looked like the ball was all gone from him, and he was bearing down on goal, Boss, but he somehow, Rabia, flicked a foot in, and it's gone out now for an Australian corner.
Well, you picked out Boss, Alien, quite rightly so. Volpato is the guy to hit off long balls. One long ball, he wins the flick, and then Boss just marauds down that right-hand side, and lovely bit of skill to lob the ball over the Egypt back line. And now they've got an opportunity from a corner, and they'll fancy the chances here, the Aussies. They've got a few big boys.
Harry Souttar in particular, a huge target for Australia from a set piece. The players just congregating around the penalty spot. Referee blows the whistle. Now the ball comes in. It's played short though. Gets it back, and then the cross charged down. It was a wasted set-piece opportunity for Australia, but they keep possession with Behic just on the halfway line all the way back to his goalkeeper, and that's a frustration. They're going to have to do better with opportunities like that going forward.
Yeah, and Harry Souttar was really closely marked there by Rabia, the Egyptian centre-half. He wasn't even looking at the ball. Rabia, it was more like a rugby tackle, a bit of grappling, which we often see.
Egypt in possession, trying to create something of their own. Australia started the better of the two teams here in these opening 7.5 minutes. That opportunity from Volpato coming off the bar. So can Egypt try and turn the tide a little in these opening exchanges? It's with Fatty in the centre circle, looking for an option to his right, and he gets it from Hani. But his pass cut out, gets it back though. The right back plays his football at Al Ahly, the most successful club in Egypt. Incredibly, has 24 domestic trophies from his time at the club. Now he gets the ball back and he checks rather than crosses, looking for an option, gets one. Now from Ashur. Egypt beginning to play the ball around. Mo Salah with an opportunity to try and thread it in. He was looking for the run of Marmoush, but it was cut out by Harrington.
Yeah, and I think from an Australia perspective, they're saying, do you know what, we'll let you cross balls into our box. We will deal with that. They're defending deep, not a lot of space in behind for Egypt to work with.
A very tight back three, very close together, the Australian back three, but Egypt now spread the ball, and Behic will come out to try and put some pressure on Hani. Drops it into the midfield, and Fatty's cross is charged down. So Australia win back possession. There's nobody to aim for, but now Jackson Irvine offers an option. Closed down though, and it will be a free kick, which Egypt are not happy about. The experienced Jackson Irvine.
Yep, once of Burton.
Yes.
Of Ross County, from Dingwall to Dallas.
Came through the academy at Celtic as well, Jackson Irvine. Never made an appearance. Joined them when he was just 17 years old. Now plays at St. Pauli in Germany.
We're a long way up here, aren't we? But he's quite easy to pick out, isn't he, Jackson Irvine?
He's got that long mop of blonde hair, the little man bun at the back. As the ball intended for him was charged down, but Australia keep possession through Boss, and then Hafez sliding in, knocks it out. So Australia throw in Egypt's half, just over midway point between the halfway line and the penalty area. They're trying to work something. Volpato again, lovely feet again from Volpato, but it does come off him last, and Egypt will win the ball back.
Geordie Boss has turned round to the referee, and as if he's the left back holding his hand and just stopping him from receiving the ball there. So that was, yeah, hand holding in an unpleasant way.
Well, Australia win the ball back in a very dangerous area. Ibrahim losing out in the challenge to Metcalf, and there's a little bit of a scuffle on that far side, and it goes the decision the way of Egypt. But Shabir, in the build-up to that moment where Australia won the ball with a really dangerous touch towards his own goal line.
It was comfortable in the end, but there was just for a second, he let the ball run across his body, didn't he? Took a touch, and then he realised, well, I might go over the line here, I better deal with it, and he did, in fairness, popped it out right.
You can hear a few gasps from the crowd inside the Dallas Stadium when that touch went back towards his own goal line. But now some grass to run into for Hafez, and he's got Marmoush towards him. Marmoush with a little dancing feet plays the ball down the line and back. It goes towards this touchline to Hafez, and back again to Marmoush, just trying to work the little 1-2, but it's well read by Irvine. and Australia win it back, but it will be a free kick. Zico just getting to the ball ahead of Irvine and goes down, and there will be a free kick to Egypt. Dangerous area, left edge of the penalty box, an opportunity to swing it in.
Yep, Zico, who's just playing in behind Mamouche and Mo Salah. They're playing more or less as split strikers, and Zico just playing in and off them, winning the free kick. And this is an opportunity from Egypt, right-hand or left-hand side of the box. Mo Salah thinking about getting involved, and Ashore, who's got a pretty decent right foot of his own.
It'll either be the left foot of Salah or the right foot of Ashur from the left edge. Two-man wall for Australia, and it's a little flick from Salah to the foot of Ashur, and it's blocked, but it's fallen to Marmouche, and Egypt can keep the pressure on. Cross comes in, looking for the head of Ashur, and the opening goal goes the way of Egypt. It was a great delivery to the back post, and Ashur, with his second goal here at this World Cup, have given Egypt the lead. Egypt 1, Australia 0.
Urban Ashore had the earlier strike, which was blocked. And then I mentioned the Aussies wouldn't mind Egypt popping balls into their box. They felt that they could be able to deal with Egypt with the physicality they have at the back, but Ashore just ghosts in, doesn't he, at the back post. He is onside, I think. Harrington's playing him onside, and then it's all about the header, and he powers it. It's an assured header from Ashore. Beats Beach at his near post. I don't think you can blame the keeper for that. Gets good enough power on the header, down into the floor, and Egypt take the lead.
We can see the celebrations from the head coach. He has a little kiss of his fingers, and then he says to everyone, calm down, calm down. There's a long way to go in this game, but it is Egypt who have taken the lead here. And you might remember Ashur's goal earlier in the competition.
Belgium, wasn't it?
Which he scored against Belgium, and it was an absolute rocket that he scored. He absolutely hammered it from the edge of the area. This one, a deft little header. Very different type of goal. But it's not a bad return for your first World Cup to have a couple of goals already for the 28-year-old. But Australia looking to answer back. The long throw to the edge of the area. The shot comes in, it's blocked, it's fallen to Erin Kunda, and there's a strike, but it's going to be well wide from Aidan O'Neill. Not going to test the goalkeeper. That good opportunity that they found themselves in, the little touch from Erin Kunda, that the shot dragged well wide. This game's livened up.
Yeah. Well, I think we were both saying it's going to be 0-0, weren't we, I think, before, but the Australians have got work to do, causing a problem with that long throw. O'Neill, and the ball did drop to him on the left-hand side, inside the box, probably about 14 yards out. He pulled his shot.
You see Popovic standing down on the technical area, arms folded, stern look upon his face. I heard Ryan McGowan in the build-up talking about Australia not wanting to concede early. They have done that here yet again, as they did against the USA. 15 minutes gone and they find themselves a goal down, but they're trying to work themselves an opening. Volpato goes down under the challenge. No free kicks, says the referee, as the goal scorer Ashur tries to skip away, but Australia knit the ball off his toes and move forward once again. And you can hear the crowd now every time Egypt win the ball back, getting right behind them. And there's an opportunity for Marmouche here. He's 1v1 at the back. Australian body's getting around him, but he's got the shot away, and that was heading beautifully goal-bound, the curling effort, but Harry Suter got his body in the way, and they look dangerous on the counter, Egypt.
Well, they do, and that's the way they play. That's the way why they have been successful over the years, playing this counter-attack style. Space in behind. Mamouche pulls out to the left-hand side, always wants to come inside on his right foot and get a shot off. And I think that was heading in, but Harry Souttar got his big frame in the way.
Certainly a very tall frame, Harry Souttar. They have a number of tall players, as we've spoken about already. But Egypt, as their head coach says, it's not a game of American football. It's a game of soccer, as you say over here. When he was asked the question about how he would deal with the height of Australia.
He's dealt with it pretty well so far, and I think you flip that to Tony Popovic, who will be furious with the nature of the goal. I'm sure just drifting in at the back post, free header, good header it was. He'll be questioning the Australian marking. Why was he all alone?
He certainly was all on his own. He'd taken the initial shot from the flick from Salah and then just wandered into the penalty area. Nobody around him, found absolutely beautifully with the cross. And that is the difference between the two teams in this early stage of this last 32 tie. The winner of Argentina, Cape Verde, lies in wait for the winner of this one. And you can hear commentary of that 11 o'clock this evening. Ian Dennis and James McFadden in Miami will talk you through that one. And from an Australian point of view, they might like another crack at it. Argentina, should it be them that progress? They met in the knockout stages 4 years ago. A narrow defeat for Argentina as they went on to then lift the trophy. But it is them who trail here in Dallas, Egypt, with the only goal of the match so far. So Australia with work to do, and they try and do it through Iran Kunda. Plays it in to the midfield and under pressure. O'Neill gets it back to Irvine. Still Australia hold possession. Irvine looking for the run over the top. Boss is there, he does win it. He's under pressure and it has a ricochet a couple of times. He thinks it should have been a corner kick, but it's been awarded as a goal kick for Egypt.
Yeah, I thought it should have been a corner, but you see on the monitor we get another look at, yeah, it should have been a corner. It comes off Rabia's arm, so Australia, the Aussies will feel a little bit hard done by with that.
Again, Egypt come forward though and look to try and really get themselves in the driving seat in this one. They've never won a knockout match. They've never been in a knockout match, and they had never won a World Cup match until this group stage when they were 3-1 winners over New Zealand. They now face New Zealand's neighbours in Australia. And that would make this certainly a World Cup to remember for all these Egypt fans, a lot of them to our right-hand side behind Shubir's goal. You can see the red shirts all around the stadium. Good colour combination actually for this game, to see where all the fans are. The red and the yellow pops against the dark colour of the seats here in the Dallas Stadium, which is approaching the 20-minute mark.
And you know, the Australians in a mid to low block. Egypt just popping the ball around the back. And Australia just waiting for a moment to press.
Thought they might have it there, but Egypt keep a hold of the ball, and now it's flipped over the top, looking for the run, and the shot goes just wide, and the flag does go up. But again, an opportunity. Zico this time running through in between the Australian backline, and the ball over the top. He couldn't direct goalwards, but the flag did go up in any case, and I think he was offside.
Yep, Zico through the middle. Not easy to pick up. He's drifting deep at times, that time making the movement in behind, but they just lured Australia into a bit of a press. So they're trying to do, create that space in behind the Australian back line and clip balls in behind for Salah and Mamouche and Zico.
Australia losing the ball in midfield, but do win it back. But it almost looks like Egypt have shuffled a little bit. Marmouche now on this left-hand touchline. Started off through the middle. It's Zico that's playing more central. So they've got the the opportunity to move around a little bit in this system, but it's Australia coming forward. Behic with the cross, but it's blocked and then picked up by Asher, but it's a heavy touch and it will go out for an Australian corner. Surely this time they stick it in the mixer, Chris.
Yeah, probably so. Behic, the experienced Behic, just rushed his cross, got away with that because it came off an Egyptian defender and went behind. Yeah, with the size of Harrington and Suter, I think that would be quite a good plan, that, to get it in on one of their heads.
Well, it looks very much like it will be heading into the area. Volpato standing over the ball. In it comes, left-footed towards that back post area, towards Harrington. He wins the header, but can't direct it back into the central area where all his teammates were standing. So harmlessly out it goes for a goal kick. And we now head towards the first hydration break. It's been an intriguing first section of this first half, 22 minutes, and the team separated by the header of Imam Ashur. Australia 0, Egypt 1. Let's head back to Wimbledon and get an update on everything that is happening there with Katie Smith.
Yeah, another busy day here at SW19. The sun's still just poking out with the roof open here on centre court where I am sat. And we've got the world number 4, the 3rd seed, Felix Auger-Aliassime of Canada, a former quarter-finalist, back in action here. It's actually his debut on centre court, the highest seeding he's ever entered this tournament. And he's taking on the qualifier Michael Zheng from the USA, the world number 144. Very early stages in this one. We're on serve in the first set. Over on court number 1, though, the 2-time Grand Slam champion Coco Gauff, seeded 7th here at Wimbledon. She's in a bit of trouble. She's been taken to a deciding set by her compatriot, another qualifier who's had to come through 3 matches to make the main draw, Claire Liu, who won a second set tiebreak, with Gauff ending on a double fault, and she's been having all sorts of problems with her serving. In terms of other big results today, we've seen some seeds falling. João Fonseca, who, remember, beat Novak Djokovic at the French Open a couple of weeks ago, he is out, as is Rafa Hadar, another exciting teenager. We've lost Daniil Medvedev and Tommy Paul as well in the men's results, but earlier we saw the world number 1s Jannik Sinner and Arina Sabalenka both booking their way through to the round of 16 in straight sets.
Thanks, Katie. Australia 0, Egypt 1 in this first ever meeting between nations from CAF and AFC. Those representing Africa and those representing Asia. And it is the African side who lead. Ashur's header, he'd never scored an international goal before this World Cup. He now has 2.
Yeah, well, it's a good time to start scoring, isn't it? And a good header at the far post. You mentioned his goal against Belgium earlier in the tournament. That was a thunderous strike from the edge of the box. I've actually really enjoyed the game. I thought it was going to be a bit of a war of attrition and both sides really sitting back. It's been quite open at times. Egypt looked like a threat. Zico sort of playing just in and off Salah and Mamouche. He's causing problems, and the Australians have had 1 or 2 attempts themselves. That Volpato effort, which skimmed the crossbar, that was the best effort that they have had. But they do look like a bit of a threat. They need to sort of maybe utilise the right-hand side a bit more. Jordi Boss had a good run earlier on in the first quarter, but hasn't seen enough of the ball.
He is the danger man, certainly, against Paraguay. Moving over to that right-hand side, everything went down that side for Australia. It's been a little more even in this game, but it is Egypt who've dominated possession, 53% so far, and they have the opening goal to show for it. We're back underway. Egypt in possession in their own penalty area, back to the goalkeeper, just looking to try and start something. Australia trying to get bodies forward, perhaps push up and put some pressure on Egypt when they have the ball, which Boss is doing now, but long it goes. That will be easily won by the tall ranging figure of Harry Suter, and again it comes forward long from Egypt and out for an Australian throw-in. And getting a little view of Hossam Hassan down on the touchline. Very animated head coach Hassan. An interesting character, regarded as one of Africa's best ever players, but certainly carries that passion he had playing through to his role in the dugout.
Yeah, and did you say he was the top scorer for Egypt? So,
He is.
so Mo must be second. Do you think he wants Mo Salah to score? Or do you think he wants the record all for himself? That this will be Mo's last World Cup, do you think?
It's an interesting one. I think most people would want to win games when they're in the dugout, and if that means losing your records, would you not, as a striker?
I asked you first.
I don't
asked you first, Ailey.
It would be the unselfish thing to want the team to win, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's interesting. Is it each to their own, isn't it?
That's you saying that you'd rather keep your record. Right, a throw in for.
Well,
it was for Australia, I thought.
Yes.
So did Aaron Kunda, who's going to pick the ball up, but it's gone the way of Egypt.
Well, that's twice now, and of course that's been a useful weapon for the Australians. The long throw. They look like they can cause a problem or two. Suter goes forward, and Harrington. I'm enjoying watching Harrington, young player. Wasn't a starter in the first game, but no, Tony Popovich really likes him. Good temperament, comfortable on the ball.
Yeah, he's the youngest member of this Australian World Cup squad, but he has got a lot of suitors potentially in Europe looking to bring him over. Currently plays for the Colorado Rapids, who he joined in January. Had been playing over in Australia for Brisbane Roar, so may well see his name popping up over in Europe in the not too distant future. As Egypt looking to work the ball on this right-hand side. Salah with it. Is going to cross, but chooses not to. Places his foot on the ball and plays a little 1-2 with Ashur before dropping it back into Egypt's half, and eventually all the way back it goes to Shobir. He's lining it up to launch it, which he does, looking for the goal scorer. It's gone all the way through, throw-in Australia.
Yeah, no problems yet by the looks of it with Mo Salah and his hamstring as they put the goal up on the big screen here in the Dallas Stadium. There's Aaron Kunda at the back post, who lets Ashur get the run and the header to put Egypt ahead. That'll be disappointing from Tony Popovich's point of view.
It will indeed. Set pieces, I'm sure he thought wouldn't be a problem given the height advantage that Australia have, but it was well worked from Egypt when they got the break of the ball in the edge of the area. Perfectly weighted cross that was just waiting to be headed in, which Ashur did. Now long ball looking for Marmoush. That's going to be too long, though. Out it goes, but he's always an outlet for Egypt, the Manchester City forwards. Struggled a little bit for game time at City.
Yeah,
36 appearances, a lot of them off the bench, though.
Yeah, that was the case, and in towards the ball and then spinning behind the Australian back line. I suppose the debate in Australia, for those who are up early enough in the morning to watch the game, Aaron Kunda playing as a central striker. You know, is that his best position? Is he good enough with his back to goal? Is his link-up play tidy enough? We know what a threat he is off that left-hand side, and they've got Mo Toure, who, Norwich City striker, club close to my heart, who I think is better suited to that centre-forward role. I'm not just saying that, Ailey.
Well, he is naturally a winger, Aaron Kunda. Didn't get many opportunities to get on the ball against Paraguay. It's been considered that the worst game of the World Cup so far, the Australia-Paraguay game, which is a little harsh. They've both progressed off the back of a draw.
No, yeah, I think you're right. Ryan McGowan said it earlier, didn't he? The Australians, Paraguay got the job done.
They did, as Behic gets onto the long ball, feeds Aaron Kunda, and he's taken out the young forward. And it's going to be a free kick to Australia, midway between the halfway line and the edge of the penalty area, just left of centre, as Aaron Kunda tries to get on the end of the ball, and Ibrahim catches him.
Why no yellow card there? Good pace from Aaron Kunda, coming towards the ball, gets there first outside of the right boot, and then he's brought down. There's
a problem here for Mohamed Hani, who's gone down wasn't in that challenge, but he has gone down. Maybe there was a knock afterwards, and he's looking in some pain. Just smacking the turf, and looks like he's feeling his right hip or his right hamstring.
I don't think Hani's feeling his hammy. I think it's his...
Very good.
He actually takes caught by Aaron Kunda after he was brought down, and this is the right boot of Aaron Kunda who catches him on the outside of Hani's right knee. But there's I'm no physio, but they're spraying everywhere. It's a sort of let's hope we find the right spot on your leg.
I think he might be all right. Up on his feet now. More a blow than any sort of muscular injury that for Hani. Sore one though.
Questionable physiotherapy, as I say. Just let's hope we find the right part of the leg which got hurt.
We have up on the big screen, the roars just now. There's a stag party. It looks like he's wearing a sash that says groom, so he's getting a big cheer. What a place to have your stag weekend. Australia now with the free kick into the area. It goes looking for Suter, and there's a touch, and Jackson Irvine gets a header on it, and now the shot comes in, but it's into the arms of Shabir, and a free kick has already been awarded in any case. Egypt with a couple of bodies on the ground.
There's Irvine with the initial header. The ball dropped Chakati, the Australian centre-half, who didn't get a strong enough strike on the ball anyway, left-footed.
Well, there's a free kick to Egypt now, and we're still waiting to get Mohamed Hani back on the field, Egypt, and he's off on the far side with the physios. Looks to be okay, just waiting to get waved back on as the ball goes up, and it's flicked on looking for the run of Salah, but all the way through it will go to Patrick Beach, who's had an excellent World Cup. Didn't expect to even play at this World Cup, and he's played every minute so far, and he's been very, very good as well.
I think everybody thought the nod was going to go to Matty Ryan, who'd had a strong season at Levante, but then Beach, I'm told, is better coming for crosses, or that's the thought process of Tony Popovic.
It's just his 6th cap tonight. Patrick Beach, as Australia come down this left-hand side. Behic was scampering left wing back. The cross comes in. He does get it across, but there's too much on it. But it will be salvaged by Jordi Boss on this right side, and his cross blocked, but it falls to Volpato, looking for the little run in behind of Boss, but that's well read, and Egypt come away with it, but it's loose from Zico, and Australia can continue coming forward through Volpato, and Zico holds his hands up in apologies. Australia win the throw-in, just level with the penalty area. So an opportunity for the long throw of Cherkati once again to try and cause some problems. Just lining it up the fullback, and it goes into the mixer. Harrington gets a head on it. Aaron Kunda, can he get control of it? He does, and he drops it to Behic, and the shot comes in from the edge of the area, and it's well saved by Shabir down to his right-hand side.
It was Behic. I don't know when the initial, I don't know whether it was a flick, the ball just dropping, why Aaron Kunda didn't have a strike on the turn there. He took a touch and then fed it back to Behic, who didn't get any power on the shot, left-footed, but a centre forward there, just gamble, have a swing. It was 8 yards out.
35 minutes gone. Australia still trying to get themselves back into this game. Egypt leading through that Ashur header earlier in the first half, but they win back possession now, Egypt. But Australia have had a good little spell here since the hydration break, and that pass cross-field looking for Ashur is not going to reach him. And Behic's short pass cut out, but he will keep possession with the throw-in. Into the centre circle it goes towards Irvine. Moving it down this right-hand side, Cherkati looking for the ball over the top to Aaron Kunda, who gets in behind, and it just goes all the way through to Shabir, who was very quickly off his line. And Ibrahim will be thanking his goalkeeper there, because Irankunda managed to just spin in behind the Egyptian defender.
Yeah, Volpato towards the ball. It just left a bit of space for Irankunda to run in behind. You're right, Ibrahim got far too tight. And then when the ball went in behind, bouncing, it looked like Irankunda, his pace would get him there first, but Schubert was calm in the Egyptian goal and swept up well.
Australia managing to clear their lines, and Volpato gets in behind, and lovely feet from Volpato. He's taken out. It will be a free kick for Australia, but that was great little spin away from trouble by Volpato.
Yeah, the old Maradona twirl there from Volpato.
Is that a free kick?
Well, the referee thought so. That's all that matters, Ailey. It did look a bit soft. It did look a bit soft.
I thought he won the ball, but
yeah.
Australia with possession down the right-hand side. Boss enjoying that physical battle, and he gets it back from Volpato. Has he got the legs? He does, and he's going to win the corner. Sliding in was Atia to deny Boss the opportunity to get the ball in the area, but they will have a chance now from the corner. And they're ramping up the pressure a little bit, Australia.
Well, since the goal, it's been the Egyptian goal has been all Australia, hasn't it? They've responded well. It's just that little bit of quality they've lacked in the final third.
Suter trying to spin away as the ball comes in. Suter goes down, but it drops. It's Australian head back across from Cherkati, but cleared by Egypt out to Ibrahim, who just launches it, and it's going to be a foot race between Behic and Salah. Behic had a little head start, but I wouldn't put it past him to win that anyway. He's very, very quick. Behic played for a season at Dundee United in the Scottish Premiership. And this now his 3rd World Cup in Australian colours, his 10th World Cup appearance. Very experienced on that wide left. Australia still in possession. Suter out to Cherkati, who's got the run ahead of him from Behic, who's come over to this right-hand side, but the ball is poor all the way through to Shubir, and they've switched the wing-backs. Now got Behic on this right-hand side. Boss has gone over to the left. What do you think the thinking is behind that?
Well, I mean, let's see if they stay there as Irankunda shuts down Shubir in the Egyptian goal and shut him down well, but they've worked their way up to that right-hand side well. Egypt have.
Egypt on the ball with Mo Salah, just short pass to the halfway line, and now it's moved over to this left-hand side. Rabia, and in to Hafez, under pressure from Volpato.
I think both wing-backs of Australia are attack-minded, but maybe Tony Popovic is thinking that Jordi Boss will get greater joy on that left-hand side, try and cause Egypt some problems down the right.
Crossfield ball, not very accurate, well won by Boss, who now gets it back to his feet, has an opportunity perhaps to take a player on. He does try and take Asher on, and Asher crumbles in a heap. Don't know if he was caught in the face there, but he is going to win the free kick, Asher. You hear a few boos from the Australians, the awarding of that free kick.
Yeah, I think it's really harsh. Asher shuts Jordi Boss down, and Boss just uses his right arm to fend a defender off, as you do, and it slides, hits Asher on the shoulder, and then catches him in the mouth. It's a size thing, isn't it? Feel a bit sorry there for the Australians. Not that I often feel sorry for Australia, but do on that occasion.
Yeah, Boss, a tall figure, and Asher certainly losing a few inches in that department. So the arm comes across, catches him in the face, and the two that took the free kick that led to the goal standing over it once more, Asher and Mo Salah, as the referee just tries to sort a couple of things out.
Mohamed Salah isn't happy about Irankunda. He's saying he needs to drop a yard back. He's too close.
So will this free kick bear the same dividends? This time it's left to the left foot of Salah, but he just passes it out to the centre of the pitch, and in it comes towards a congested area, and Australia get ahead to it. But again, it's a well-worked free kick from Egypt. The flag is up. It will be a free kick to Australia for offside, but The expectation was that Salah with his left foot would put that right into the mixer, and it was well worked.
Yeah, they fooled us, didn't they? But a little bit different. The ball going into that far post where Egypt got the goal from. The Ashur header.
We're into the final 4 minutes of the 45, and it is Egypt who leads by 1-0 in this knockout match. Both of these teams looking to win a knockout match at a World Cup for the first time, and it is Egypt who do have that advantage at the moment. But Australia, they've grown into this game, just haven't quite been able to really test Shabir in the Egypt goal. Could it happen now? Irinkunda, long ball played forward to him. He does try and hold it up and control it, but it skips away from him as he got the pace to keep that one in, as he gets into a bit of a foot race with Ibrahim, but he doesn't. It will be an Egypt throw in, and he's a little bit frustrated, the forward, because Ibrahim's gone down.
Well, I think that was an accident, wasn't it? Irinkunda on that left-hand touchline where a lot of Australians really should be playing. The ball goes out of play and then he rolls over. He's caught by Ibrahim and catches him in the follow-through.
Well, he's up on his feet now, Ibrahim. Still having a lengthy conversation, Ibrahim and Irinkunda. Interesting matchup. Irinkunda's incredibly quick. Clocked 37, just over 37 kilometres an hour, which is the fastest in the A-League. You managed that?
Well, I'm just trying to think what I would have been like in my heyday. Maybe mid-20s. Well, watching you on the treadmill actually yesterday, Ailey, I think you got up to what, 13?
It was in miles per hour, the treadmill, which was very off-putting. So I couldn't possibly comment on how many kilometres an hour I was doing. Definitely was not 37, though. I can absolutely guarantee you of that.
You didn't have to tell us that.
Australia in possession. Harrington just inside his own half, plays it back across to his captain John Suter, and the defender's getting a little touch of the ball, but now it goes forward to Irinkunda. He tries to spin away from Ibrahim, but Ibrahim goes down. It's become a little bit of a feisty battle between those two.
It has, and I mean, I think we expected it anyway to be like that. The Aussies don't mind a scrap, do they, in Egypt? I think, you know, their style of play, they're aggressive and on the front foot. Yeah, that's one to watch, that. But he certainly rattled the Egyptian centre-half, Irinkunda.
Yeah, he has indeed. Ibrahim, another player from this Egypt squad that plays for Al Ahly in Egypt. He started all 4 matches here at the World Cup. Yasser Ibrahim. As Egypt come forward now, Australia looking for the free kick, but Marmoush wastes the opportunity somewhat, can't find Salah, and now Behic comes forward, and that's a poor ball, really, looking for the run of Volpato. He's going to try and put some pressure on Hafez at the back, but out it goes for a goal kick, and there was an opportunity there for Australia as they won that ball back.
Yeah, he just forced that pass. Behic, as I think O'Neill was complaining about it, the challenge there in midfield. The Australian was hurt in the process, but yeah, that's the Australian issue. But we knew it before the game. You know, would they have sufficient quality in that final third? That bit of guile. They haven't really created a clear-cut opportunity.
Good feet from the goal scorer Ashur to spin away, and Egypt now coming down this left-hand side through Marmoush, who's got the little run in behind by Hafez. Now into the midfield, and the ball looking for Salah, and he can't quite get on the end of it under pressure from Harrington. Again, another little and large moment. Harrington able to just do enough to ensure that Salah can't get a good touch on that flicked ball through to him. Good run though.
Yeah, good run. I thought it was good defending, because Harrington, you know, could have committed and fouled Salah, but let him head the ball. Wasn't enough pace on it for him to score.
chance now for Australia down the right. Volpato, he's got a good left foot on him and he tries to bend that one round from the edge of the area. That one a little further away. He had one in the first half that came off the top of the crossbar. This one not worrying Shubir at all as it goes wide of his right-hand post. We're into the added time, 5 minutes added. We're a minute and a half into that, so half-time whistle approaching. Australia 0, Egypt 1. And again, down on that touchline, Hossam Hassan, very animated.
I mean, thank God the roof is on, because, I mean, he looks boiling already, doesn't he? Imagine him with a roof off in 90-odd degrees in Dallas.
Well, you might have to borrow your Stetson for that. Yeah, certainly.
Well, it'd end up being a sweaty Stetson, wouldn't it?
It indeed. You could put a heart rate monitor on him down there. He'd probably match some of the players out on the pitch.
Kelly said he was animated, but I didn't realise he was quite that animated.
No, we're just getting... I'll wait until Australia finish off this attack because they do have the ball in a good area. And the cross comes in. Looking at the back post for Behic, it's flicked away from him, but he will get on the end of that and keep the pressure on. Now the cross comes in from that left-hand side. Aaron Kunda in the middle, and it's come, I think, off Rabia, but it's into the arms of Shubir, and there's a question mark perhaps over whether it was a handball, but there's nothing being looked at, nothing given. On we go, and that was an opportunity for Aaron Kunda perhaps.
Just got in between the two Egyptian centre-halves. And Aaron Kunda was appealing for a handball, but he didn't seem overly convinced himself. You're just seeing it on the monitor again, in between the centre-halves. No, I don't think. Maybe claiming for a foul at the back post as well, but Aaron Kunda sort of appealed for a second and then let it go.
Well, I was just going to tell you before that attack that it looks like reports coming through that England's last 16 tie against Mexico may well be moved forward because of a threat of storms. That game on Sunday due to kick off at 1 AM back in the UK, but that may well be changed, which would make it a more favourable kick-off time if you're watching at home. More on that, I'm sure, with Kelly at half-time. And that's going to be an incredibly tasty tie. You've done Mexico at the Azteca already. Difficult place to go. Yeah,
we got soaked there as well. No, a brilliant stadium. We just hope the Mexican weather forecasters are accurate.
Bosch trying to go down the right-hand side, goes down under the challenge, nothing given. Aaron Kunda picks the ball up, right edge of the penalty area, into Volpato, again that left foot. This time he chops, now he tries to find a teammate and it's blocked, and they're shouting for a handball again, the Australians. And Marmouche picks up the loose ball. We're heading towards the half-time whistle, into the final minute of the added-on 5. Harrington wins it in the halfway area and plays it through to Behic, twisting and turning, trying to get away. Keeps hold of possession and out over to this left-hand side. Australia looking to end the half with a flourish, but they will be concerned that Jordy Boss is still down on the turf on that right-hand side, and now the ball will be played out by Cherkati for him to get some treatment, and this would be a real blow for Australia if he was unable to continue. That the challenge comes in.
Rabia, it is the left centre-half for Egypt. A really strong challenge. I think he slips, in fairness to him, and then it's the follow-through. He takes Jordy Boss out. Harry Suter, enormous Harry Suter, having a word with the referee and the assistant, saying that was a little bit OTT. But is that the half-time whistle?
I think it is the half-time whistle, and still Jordy Boss is lying on the turf. He's now getting some treatment, but the half-time whistle has gone here in Dallas. It's been an intriguing first half, two different styles of football coming up against each other, but ultimately it is Egypt who have been the only team to find that little bit of quality in the final third. The goal scored by Ashur came following a free kick that was then recycled. Hafez with the ball in, perfectly weighted, just dying to be headed into the back of the net, which Ashur did. And now Australia will sweat at half-time on the fitness of Jordy Boss, who is still receiving treatment down on the pitch, and the players as they walk off up the tunnel. But an entertaining first half. It actually flew by, I thought, Chris.
Yeah, but yeah, it did. I was quite sort of in the main happy with the way the first half panned out. I thought Australia really came back into the game when they went to goal behind Asher with the header, but they are just lacking that bit of quality, that bit of nous in the final third, and Tony Popovic will try and address that in the second half, I'm sure.
Well, Jordy Boss back up on his feet now. He will make his way off, and Australia will hope that he can continue, but he does not look like he's in a good place right now. And that is a real shame for him and for Australia. But at half-time here, it is Australia 0, Egypt 1.
Ailey and Chris, thank you very much. Australia and Egypt back for the second half of that game very shortly. Normally at that stage we'd have a chat with the guys, but there is big breaking news here. Don't get too excited just yet. It's not confirmed. England against Mexico in the World Cup last 16 could be moved to earlier on Sunday because of the threat of thunderstorms. BBC Sport understands that FIFA's considering moving the game forward by 6 hours. So that would mean that it goes from a 1 a.m. kickoff on Monday morning, that's Sunday night, into Monday morning, and that would move to a 7 o'clock kickoff on Sunday evening. Just to reiterate, no final decisions have been made yet. Don't change your plans just yet. It is possible still that the original kickoff remains. John Murray joins us live now from Mexico City. John, what can you tell us?
Of drama of what this tournament can offer.
Yeah, listen, I think that we talked about it earlier at halftime. It's typical. First game, you're feeling each other out. Second half, you come out and you start opening up the game. And you got to give them credit, man. Besides the Netherlands and Morocco game, that was probably the second best game we've seen. Oh, yeah. Second half, they opened up. They went at each other. Both teams created great chances. I mean, Costa made some fantastic saves to keep Portugal in it. But at the end of the day, it's quality, right? It's about the service. Leao puts a fantastic ball in. Ramos gets up. So the two defenders kind of watch. They don't jump. So,
yeah.
You know, this is, I think, what we wanted to see. We want to see these kind of games. You hate to see Modric go home, and hopefully it won't be his last game. Hopefully, I mean, you know he'll get a farewell game, but I hope that he stays a little bit more with Nations League and everything that's coming up. But that's the second half that we were expecting.
Fortune favours the brave, doesn't it, in sport? And you have to say that Roberto Martinez was very brave, as you mentioned, in the second half, bringing some of his big players off, most notably Ronaldo, and kind of pushing his chips all in on the subs that came on. How much credit is he due for the
festival season? So great when you've got Voxy Mobile's unlimited data for social media.
Because you can see everyone's festival snaps and feel like you're there, even though you're not there.
Yeah, and it's only a tenner.
Unlimited data for social media on Voxy Mobile. Selected social apps in UK, T&Cs apply.
The tactical nous and knowing that that was the right call to make, even if it was a particularly unpopular call. We saw Ronaldo's face when he came off as a substitute, and I don't think he was happy about it. So credit's due to him, and also validates the point that maybe he should have been substituting Ronaldo in some of the previous games.
Yeah, and that it sort of comes as a surprise. I do think this is a little bit of a different game because of how hot it is in Toronto today, where maybe you can make an argument on behalf of fitness and condition and all of those things that maybe, although, I mean, they played in Miami in their final group stage game. So, I mean, certainly, you know, fitness and condition will come into play there as well. But, yeah, I mean, it's a massive call. It's a massive call for him to make because we saw it in the last World Cup. Fernando Santos, the previous manager, decided, I'm going to take him off in a knockout round game. I'm going to start Gonzalo Ramos. He scored a hat trick in the last 16, but then they lost in the quarterfinal and ultimately were fairly hapless in the attack. And all of the criticism came from the manager because he took him off. And so you see Ronaldo now finally getting his goal in the knockout round, converts a penalty. But by the way, that was his only touch inside of the penalty area in the entire game. He wasn't effective for the lion's share of the match. It was ultimately a penalty that someone else won. So I don't think that this was necessarily vindication for him, but it was also, you know, vindication. He gets his goal in another respect. So it's kind of a narrative draw at the end of all this. But to your point, Roberto Martinez making these changes in this moment is absolutely huge because it shows going forward that Ronaldo is not the golden goose, is not the sacred cow or whatever farm-based analogies you want to make. But I think
sacred cow.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, so I think he is one of these players now that can be removed in other games, and I think affects the way that we think about them going forward. Because if it's not working against Spain in the next round, you can see a scenario in which he takes him off.
Sue means sacred cow.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just, I thought maybe the golden goat or so, I don't know. But listen, you got to give the coach tons of credit because it's not easy taking off a star, one of the best players in the world. Between Messi and Ronaldo, how do you have the courage to take him off? And I think he took him off at the right time, and I think he showed everybody that he can make those decisions. So we were always questioning, will he do it, will he not? And they've never been in a position where he had to take him off. And today he had to take him off. I think he had like one shot, which was a penalty on target. So I think that he showed everybody today that, we do have players that have quality in Ramos that can play that 9, because when they did go to the double 9, Croatia tore him apart. That's where Croatia had that fantastic 10 to 15 minutes. And then what does he do? He says, no, we need to take Ronaldo off. He puts Ramos up by himself. And that's where this team started playing a little better. But you can see matches there, 3-4 goals, 1 assist. But this, to me, was, I think, a huge stepping stone for this team, knowing that they can play without him.
And this guy, not just for his national side, we've seen him do it for PSG. He is a real super sub. Yep. When he comes on, he invariably scores a goal, a lot with his head. He's one of those players who does seem to have a knack of, right, go on for the last 20 minutes, get me a goal. He's as much of a super sub as we've got in world football right now.
And even with PSG, as you mentioned this season, I want to say he scored 5 or 6 goals in stoppage time of games for PSG. And some of those were icing games that they had already won, but some of them were dramatic late equalizers or winners as well. I think in the overall, going back to the last World Cup, when he came in for Ronaldo and scored that hat trick in the last 16 against Switzerland, there was a real feeling that he was going to kick on and have a really big club career, made a big money move to Paris Saint-Germain. That move has not worked for him. He is not built from strength to strength, and he's going to have to rebuild his career at Milan, where he's heading to after this World Cup for next season in Serie A. But I think for whatever reason, when he comes on as a sub in these games, I believe, I just heard the stat in my ear, averaging a goal every 47 minutes in his World Cup appearances. That is extraordinary for a player who obviously is coming in limited windows and is producing at a really high level. So all credit to him for being able to come on and do the thing that Ronaldo was meant to do, which is occupy center backs and challenge in the air. You mentioned earlier, Pongracic and Kvaratskhelia are completely out to lunch from a defensive point of view on that one. But I still think that the way that he goes and scores that goal, you have to give him a massive amount of credit, because that's a lot of pressure. You come on as the striker. He didn't come on directly for Ronaldo, but when Ronaldo comes off, you're the guy upon whom all the attention is paid, and here he is delivering in such a big moment.
Cello, let's have a quick look at the SofaScore ratings from this game for the Portugal players. I'm hearing that Cristiano, maybe not necessarily reflected here, but Cristiano Ronaldo was given man of the match during the game, which I think is much
Sorry, excuse me? Well, to be fair, they gave Lamine Yamal the man of the match early. He was maybe the 8th best player for Spain.
Much a popularity contest as
ridiculous.
Yeah, a few 7s in there. Highest rating I can see is obviously the goal scorer Ramos coming on 7.9. I think that's a bit unfair on Costa. I thought he had a brilliant game.
I'm a little surprised, because if it wasn't for his 2 or 3 saves, they would have been down 2-0, maybe 3 at that point. So I thought he should have been a little higher. And I thought, I'm not going to lie, I think Ronaldo's too high. I think he should have been lower. He really didn't impact the game at all. Maybe one free kick that he hit the defender in the wrong area. But overall, I mean, I think it's a pretty fair score, except for Costa, and I think Ronaldo should have been lower.
What do you think, Witty?
Yeah, I mean, Mendes did a lot of good work on that left side, but I sort of question any rating of the Portugal defenders at any high level. I thought Croatia in that second half were able to play through them relatively well. Vitinha having such a high rating, he came off early in that second half. I don't think he had a brilliant game either. He's not had a brilliant tournament so far. So I think there's some fairly questionable performances in this Portugal side, but Ramos coming on and making that impact. Those statistical player ratings tend to
numbers
overvalue.
Always go up when you win a little bit. That's
when you
win
win and when you score. It's obvious, right? It's such an important part of the game, but I still think that, Ramos and Ronaldo are probably that little bit overrated as a result of the goal. But yeah, I don't think it was a brilliant Portugal performance. They have a lot to work on ahead of their game against Spain.
Unfortunately, they don't make eject buttons for email threads. But there is Loom. Record your screen, camera, and voice to bring more of you to your message. Loom lets you send crystal clear messages every time with easy editing and AI. Now, instead of repeating yourself, you can record that great idea once and share it forever. Move meetings, move mountains, move your team forward. All you have to do is hit record. Try Loom for free today.
The first player that I'm going to have you match up to a team is Monaco's Flo Balogun. So the matches are PSG, Chelsea, Tottenham, or Everton.
Does he have to go there?
Unfortunately, one of these has to be matched up with him for this segment's sake. What are you doing, JD? You don't like any of the options?
If I'm Flo Balogun, I'm probably firing my agent if this is the only availabilities that I have.
Those aren't good options.
No, they're not.
PSG's the best team in the world.
Okay, I'll break down to you why each one of these are a bad option. And I'll leave Chelsea for last.
You're the unmatchmaker.
I'm the unmatchmaker. I'm the honesty when it comes to this. PSG, you're not going to get the minutes that you deserve because look at the quality that's ahead of you. If you don't believe me, then there's a, I don't know, Ballon d'Or winner that's ahead of you right now in terms of leading the line for that club. Everton, up and down the inconsistency and the lack of service you're going to get, it's going to feel like, look at the trajectory of someone that you actually left because you were behind at Arsenal in Eddie Nketiah, who's gone to a club that's equivalent in Crystal Palace and hasn't translated in terms of goals. Tottenham Hotspur, we don't know which version of Tottenham you're going to get. Is it the one that's 17th or the team that's decided they want to be a big team and spend over 300 million? And they need to show an element of consistency before they start approaching someone like yourself, who has the highest value right now. And Chelsea, well, do you want to become one of the 142 players that they have listed as squad first team players, and maybe you end up somewhere within the blue coat system and we might forget about you within the next 2 years? Because I can list a whole bunch of strikers that are currently listed as Chelsea players that we sometimes even forget they're even there. So I'm going to rip all of those matches up and say none of them.
Can I throw one more option at you and you tell me if you like it?
Throw it to the agent.
I'm going to throw one more option at you. Borussia Dortmund.
I'm not disappointed with it. I think there was an opportunity there. I do think that him and Garassi could turn around and formulate something and also push him in a different way that he hasn't been pushed as a number 9, as a solitary number 9 at Dortmund. And Dortmund need more depth. So someone like Flo Balogun at Dortmund is where you should be. Benny, you know what you should be.
I like him in the Bundesliga. I know he didn't put any Bundesliga, maybe RB Leipzig or Dortmund. I don't think he can go to Bayern yet and compete against the Harry Kanes of the world, but I think he'd have a hell of a career in the Bundesliga.
I'm not disappointed with that.
His value right now is $45 million. I think it was $20 million last summer.
What did Fat Joe say? Yesterday's price is not today's price. I don't think that's Flo Balogun's value, and I think Flo Balogun doesn't believe that's his value either.
What do you think its value is?
Oh, we're talking about north of a goal scorer that scored already three goals in the World Cup. You're around 70-odd million now. Easily, you're around 70-odd million. And especially because 50 million is where his basis was before his performance in the World Cup. The consistency he's shown in not only a Monaco shirt, but now in a US shirt, we're talking the upper echelons of 70, 75 million.
And I do think that also in the World Cup, it's not just the 3 goals that he scored. It's his movement off the ball. It's his presence, being able to hold it up, run into the channels. He works defensively as well.
Off ball, too. Yeah, the high press.
I've enjoyed the holistic aspect of his game.
Telling you, man.
Just Gyökeres went for 70 million last summer.
You really don't want me to open up this can of worms, because if I open it, people are going to be upset with what I said. Sometimes I feel like clubs get infatuated by names that are playing in different leagues. I will remind everybody, Flo Balogun came through at Arsenal, was showcasing his ability at Arsenal. Him and Eddie Nketiah were going tat for tat in terms of at England level, at the youth team level, and showcased this quality. And what the world is seeing now is what I had an opportunity as someone from North London and I witnessed a long time ago. So I will already said he should never have been sold. And then now you're watching him showcase what he can do on the biggest stage at the largest tournament in the world. I think there's a couple of Arsenal officials that need to shake their head and ask themselves how we let that leave our academy and go for such a price tag while it continues to increase and get better. But I'll leave everybody to their own devices.
I think you could also make the argument that he's gotten so many minutes at Monaco and he's been able to grow as a player, which that would help him in that. I mean, they could have put him on loan, though.
So I get it.
They did send him on loan, but the difference was I watched you sign, in terms of Arsenal, sign a striker in Gabriel Jesus, who was trying to lead the line at that moment in time. What was the question marks around Jesus? Inconsistency around fitness. Then you went inside Kai Havertz, exactly the same problem. Never questioned their quality, inconsistency around fitness. What you had there was a player who was hungry, who would showcase, I can play a number of games within a season. The link-up player is as good as anybody that we're talking about right now, that's been listed already, and I'm clinical in front of goal. What more do I need to prove? If my name had Enio on the end of it, you would have been all over me like white on rice.
Balaguinho.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, let's look at another American, Anthony Robinson. Where do we think he should be matched up with? Does he stay with Fulham? Ooh. Does he go to Liverpool? Does he go to Manchester United? Benny, are you liking any of these options?
So, I'm a big fan of Jedi Robinson. I think he's a guy that could fit into a lot of different lineups. He has
Egypt with Chris Sutton and Ailey Barber.
Oh, you join us just as Egypt have a huge opportunity to double their lead right at the start of the second half. Omar Marmoush played through and he's just squeezed the ball wide of the left-hand post, and that would have been a sensational start for Egypt to the second half, Chris Sutton.
Yeah. What a fast start from Egypt, and what a mess of it Mamouche made. Slipped through, I think it was Zico, made a brilliant pass inside of Truin. Marmouche had made the run, took a brilliant first touch. All he has to do is tuck it either side of the goalkeeper. He tucked it a yard wide. The far post, what a chance to put this game to bed.
Huge chance. Egypt leading by that goal to nil, and there has been a change for Australia at the start at half-time as Australia win a free kick. Kieran Kunda also down on the turf, and Jordan Boss, who was struggling right at the end of that first half under the challenge, has had to go off. So Kai Truin has come on to replace him, the 25-year-old.
I forgot to mention him. He just come on and Mamouche made the run inside him.
Yeah, it's his first appearance at this World Cup, and he had a baptism of fire with Marmouche just peeling off him. But Australia have a free kick midway between the halfway line and the edge of Egypt's penalty area.
That should have been the game right there for Egypt. Will they rue that miss?
Well, they may well do, because Australia have put them under pressure in that first half, but unable to find the cutting edge. But fully expected Marmouche to finish that one off. In the ball comes, Suter wins it, but it's cleared by an Egypt body, and then it comes back again. Suter again wins the long ball. Aaron Kuna, there's an opportunity for Irvine, and he lays it out to that right-hand side. The cross comes in, looking for Suter, and there's a back post runner, and it was Metcalf who tried to get on the end of it, and there's real concern here now for Mohamed Hani, who's down on the ground, and it looks like he might well be out cold down there as the Egypt players rush around him and call the physios on. But he got in between the two Australians there, the Egyptian defender, and he's clearly taken a real sore one, and this is a concern.
Yeah, it is. He defended the cross superbly. It was Truin who just wonder whether he could have shot. He's level with the 6-yard line on that right-hand side. Why not try and fire a shot? And he just looped the ball to the back post, and then Suter was jumping for the ball, and Hani just did enough. And he's sitting up now, which is good for him. I think Metcalf as well was involved at the far post, but back on his feet.
Yeah, back up he is, but he does look to be struggling somewhat. Mohamed Hani, the right back, and they'll just assess him. They'll take their time, as they should do, with a head injury, because there was immediate concern for him.
But that's, I mean, let's get it right, that's not a proper head check. That he got a kiss on the back of the head and to get on with it. I think it was Metcalf at the back post who ghosts in. I've got to say, Hani uses his body brilliantly well and takes a knock.
The way he landed was concerning. He did look like he had lost consciousness there, but we won't know from the position that we're at. But certainly his teammates looked very concerned about him, but he is still on, and he's now been asked to go off the side of the pitch, having received that treatment. He was still on the field of play, and that might be a good thing to just give him another little moment, because he is bent over again and feeling the back of his head, and he's having another little conversation with the medical staff. So,
I mean, they're not in a rush to take this kick, are they? Schobert just ambling behind the goal to pick the ball up. The referee's onto him, saying, I'm onto you, keeper, I'm onto you, Schobert.
Yeah, well, there is some family history when it comes to time wasting with Mustafa Schobert. His dad, Ahmed, has 107 caps as Egypt's goalkeeper. And against the Republic of Ireland in a World Cup game in 1990, Egypt passed the ball back, using the old back pass rule, back to the goalkeeper, and they were able to pick it up. And there are rumours and folklore that led to the change in the back pass rule, but...
So a family of time wasters.
A family of certainly legendary goalkeeper status when it comes to Egyptian football, though Schobert, 26 years old, his 14th cap tonight. Got a long way to go if he's going to catch up with his father. But Hani now back on the pitch, and Egypt back in possession. The long ball will be easily cut out, and it's a lovely little touch from Harrington to just pull that down out of the air and lay it into the path of Irvine. Australia coming forward. Metcalf, back they go now, trying to recycle out to the right hand side, just in the centre circle with Suter. Good pressure from Marmouche, and Irvine's plays it back to his captain, but not particularly accurate. A bit of a run back for Harry Suter to get there ahead of Mo Salah, and then that was quite a strange little flick trick
on the
there.
Ball. Well, I don't think that was a trick. He just stepped out again, didn't he, and trod on the ball, and thankfully from Harry Suter's point of view, he was able to deal with the situation, wasn't under any sort of pressure.
Australia coming forward. Volpato, who's been probably the most impressive in the golden shirts of Australia, wriggles away from the challenge, right edge of the penalty area. Just a touch too many, but the cross does come in, looking for that back post run of Behic, but it's cleared by Egypt, only though as far as O'Neill, who's now challenged, and out it goes. And it will be an Australian throw-in right up next to that corner flag. He's being asked to move a little bit deeper, though actually it's an Egypt throw-in. That's where the confusion is.
I think it's the third time, isn't it, that Australia have been hard done by.
Well, 51 minutes on the clock in this second half of this last 32 tie between Australia and Egypt. Egypt leading by a goal to nil to book their place in the last 16, lying in wait for the winner of this one, the winner of Argentina Cape Verde. That kicks off at 11 p.m. UK time in Miami, and you can be listening to full commentary from that game. Ian Dennis and James McFadden talking you through that one. Egypt, though, on the ball, desperate to make another little piece of history here at this World Cup after winning their first ever World Cup match against New Zealand, an opportunity to win their first ever knockout match against Australia, but that's given away. And coming forward now is Behic, looking for the run of Irankunda, but it's well defended and launched out of play for an Australian throw-in midway between the halfway line and the penalty area.
Rabia made the clearance there. Behic had a real opportunity to find Volpato at the far post, who was all alone. Careless from Egypt, trying to play out, but just not the quality once again for the Aussies in that final third.
Oh, and that's a lovely little shift by O'Neill, and he's taken down, and it will be a free kick to Australia, level with the penalty area on the left touchline.
Oh, foul. There's an edge to this game, though, isn't there? Feisty, bit of needle.
There is indeed. There's been a few challenges. Australia unfortunately losing Jordy Boss after one of them, right on the stroke of half-time.
Yeah, he said, what did he say before this game? Eat or be eaten? Well, yeah, he's been eaten.
A real blow to Australia to lose him. He's such a powerful direct runner, but they will have to secure safe passage without him in this second half if they are to do so. An opportunity now to try and draw level. O'Neill over the free kick, and it goes to the area. Lots of big heads, and there it is! It is the tallest of them all! Harry Suter draws Australia level, and the captain is engulfed by his teammates, by the substitutes, and even by the goalkeeper, Patrick Beach, who has ran from the full length of the pitch. Australia level from a set piece, and Harry Suter, their captain, is the man to level it up. Australia 1, Egypt 1.
Well, I wonder whether there was an own goal or not. The ball is brilliantly, that's the key. Aidan O'Neill, Suter's in there, and he's onside. But yeah, I think he goes up for the ball. I think it's Hannay who heads it into the back of his own net. It's a brilliant ball in, fizzed in, and you've got to say Australia deserve it. They've been adventurous since Egypt scored the goal, and they get themselves level, maybe, fortunately so. But they've been the team in the ascendancy. And we've got a game on now, and you go back to that Marmouche miss, don't you, seconds into the second half. But will the Aussies continue being brave and bold and adventurous and go for the jugular?
Well, they've got themselves back level. It did indeed come off the head of Hannay. Suter in front of him with all the pressure on the ball. It flicked past Suter, and Hannay was the unfortunate body in the way. It flicked off the back of his head and into the goal, and we certainly do have a game on now.
This is present, Haley, isn't it? You know, you mentioned Suter. Enormous frame, 6'7", he's a giant. And if the ball's on point, he's always going to cause a problem or two. And just enough panic there in the Egyptian back line, and Hannay will count himself unlucky.
He will indeed, as Egypt keep possession on the halfway line.
He's not had a great day, has he? Hannay has been walloped a couple of times and then popped one into the back of his own net.
Yeah, he took that sore one just moments before scoring the own goal. He might wish he had gone off, given what transpired a couple of minutes later. But Egypt looking to try and regain their lead, and you do go back to that Marmouche chance. It was a golden opportunity for Omar Marmouche, and I suppose if there is a criticism of all the quality that he has, it is that final ball, that final bit of the puzzle.
It's, you know, and you're quite right to describe it as golden. It was as golden could be. At the top level, he's got to be popping that when he took a good touch. He was like 10 yards out, keeper to beat, and he hit it wide of the far post. What a miss, what a mess.
Australia win possession back, and they've gone long, but too long. It'll go all the way through to Shobir. Nkunda, the willing runner as ever. 57.5 minutes played here in Dallas. Australia 1, Egypt 1. This is finally balanced as Behic tries to win the ball off Asher. Asher gets a little lucky. It ends up back with his goalkeeper. They're pressing more aggressively now, the Australians.
Yeah, I just think, well, I think they've been brave since the Egyptian goal. It's interesting, isn't it? Now they're level. Will they still go for the jugular? But that may expose them at the back.
Opportunity for Marmouche. Lovely touch to take it away from the defender. Plays it out to Salah. Salah left foot, puts his foot on the ball and slows it down, and then can't quite find a teammate. And Australia were back so quickly in numbers to crowd out that Egypt attack. Egypt still with the ball though. And Salah, a couple of moments. Salah, do you think he's fully fit?
Yeah, he's not quite looked right. We've got producer Callum, who's a Rangers fan, who obviously doesn't know a lot about football, but he did say Salah's been quiet in that first half. And is he quite right? I have to reluctantly agree with him. He was spot on there.
This doesn't happen often, given that when you sit with Chris Boyd, there's never agreements going on there. So Callum is in esteemed position of having you agree with him on something. poor pass to give it away by Egypt, and Australia an opportunity to come forward. Kunda makes the run to get the ball from Metcalf, goes down under the challenge, and it will be an Australian free kick. He's done well to win that free kick because he was quite isolated there, Kunda.
And Tony Popovic is quite rightly saying to the referee, how is that not a yellow card? Maybe there'll be a card shown. Kunda gets there first.
Well, again, it's that battle between Kunda and Ibrahim, and we can see supporters in the crowd there, shot waving the yellow card.
Yeah, well, I think that
the referee didn't.
Supporters in the stadium are being accurate, and we can see Tony Popovic on the monitor. Popovic having a pop, quite rightly so.
It's as animated as I've seen him actually this afternoon. He's spent a lot of the game with his arms folded, but they're back level now, the Aussies, and he's getting a little bit more animated. But another opportunity from a set piece, and again it comes in from this left-hand side, and it's Harrington trying to get on the end of it, and Suter, and it's fallen to Australian feet, and it comes back out onto this left-hand side to O'Neill, who played the free kick in, this time with his right foot, and again the run of Suter is the target, but it's just cleared. Harrington though wins it back into the area, cleared, back again by an Australian head, cleared again Australia winning possession, flicked over the head by O'Neill, headed clear only as far as Metcalf. Now Suter in an unfamiliar position, but he keeps possession, and now Polvato, and across into Kunda. Metcalf left edge of the area, back to Kunda, feints to shoot, now the shot comes in, blocked, and Egypt finally get it clear, and Mo Salah goes down under pressure, and that will be an Egypt free kick. And Australia, they are getting bodies in amongst it there.
Yeah, they've actually played some really nice stuff in and around the Egyptian box, and last-ditch defending from Egypt, but they did it pretty well. And Mo Salah brought down by Harry Suter. They're not great playing out from the back, Egypt. That has been the problem for them. Sort of getting up the pitch. They look a greater threat when there's a ball in behind.
They've got space on the right-hand side now, but instead of playing it wide, Atiyat cuts back onto his left, but Hani was in all sorts of space, and now they should work the ball out to this right-hand side, which they do, but a little bit too late because the golden shirts are up in and around them, but still they keep possession and now move it over to the left to Hafez, whose cross led to the opening goal for Egypt. Pegged back by Australia though, so this one finally balanced as Hani picks it up on the right-hand side, feints to cross, looks for the 1-2, doesn't come. Ashur spinning away, and Egypt now enjoying a little spell of possession, but Australia in that flat back five, giving them a tough task to try and break through. And you can see the arms outstretched, looking for options, but now the little ball down the side to Salah, right edge of the penalty area, and he's offside. Flag goes up. Plenty of possession from Egypt, but not really the guile and pace on the tempo of play to really cut Australia open.
No, a little bit better in terms of keeping the ball. You mentioned the patience. You mentioned Harrington earlier, 18 years old, unfazed. And Mo Salah has mainly pulled on him, but Harrington has played him really well. The experience of Salah, the inexperience of Harrington, but some temperament, isn't he, the young man?
Yeah, he's very calm, very composed looking, very mature as Australia come forward. Volpato playing it out onto the right-hand side to the substitute Truen. Back it comes into the middle of the pitch, and Harrington, a little ball inside, but Australia now trying to draw Egypt out. Ball back to the goalkeeper Beach, and that's one perhaps that Cherkati didn't want under pressure, but he does well, and the ball's now looped forward to Kunda, but that's a poor touch from the forward. Goes all the way out for a throw-in to Egypt inside their own half.
Yeah, Egypt braver with their press there, and then the ball played out to Cherkati. Long ball up to Kunda, who's got to try and take that in on his chest, and that's where I think maybe a frustration with him playing as a central striker. He's not clean and neat with his back to goal.
Yeah, looks like the kind of player who just wants the ball in behind to run onto.
Yeah, I think the Norwich City striker Mo Toure is, you know, he's got work to do in that area. Philip Clement sort of called him out for, said he can improve with his back to goal, but he's more of a natural number 9, more of a natural centre forward than Irinkunda. Maybe we'll see Toure at some stage.
That'll keep you happy. You're in your Norwich pals.
Well, yeah. Yellow Norwich kit, yellow Aussie kit.
And it is the yellow Aussie kit of Harry Souttar on the ball, and the ball into Volpato was easy enough to take, but tried to get it on the turn, and just a heavy touch allows Egypt to win possession back. 65 minutes gone. Australia 1, Egypt 1. The winner of Argentina and Cape Verde lie in wait for the winner of this one in the last 16. And at the moment, neither team making the history that we could see here today, but somebody's going to have to find a way to take the victory and win a first ever knockout match.
Was it Argentina knocked the Aussies out in 2022?
It was indeed, yes. In fact, both times.
It was close, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, by a single goal, 2-1, I believe it was. But the Australians have actually lost both of their knockout matches previously in a World Cup to the team that has gone on to win. 2-1 to Argentina it was, as the cross comes in looking for the run of Attia, but it's cleared by an Australian defender, and again Hani with an opportunity to come forward again, but that's easy for Souttar. Sticks out a long right leg and prods it clear, but Egypt keep possession. Hafez on that left hand side just cutting away from the challenge of Volpato, and now it's Fati. Egypt getting bodies forward, working it out again onto this right hand side. Hani, who doesn't look to have any ill effects from that head knock that he took earlier. Little touch in behind, one touch pass, looking for the path of Salah. Well cut out. Hani's cross again, Salah can't get on the end of it. Behic with it now in his own area on that touchline, rifles it off the body of Hani, and it's out for an Australian throw-in.
Salah looks miles off it, doesn't he, physically, as Egypt making a couple of substitutions here, but it just doesn't look right. Oh, Salah had a hamstring injury, but something's amiss.
Haitham Hassan is coming on to replace Zico on the left-hand side. The 24-year-old plays for Real Oviedo in Spanish second tier, and also Hossam Abdelmagoud is coming on as well, the centre-back. He will replace Fati in the midfield, so a little reshuffle perhaps from Egypt. We'll see what that looks like. May well have gone to more of a 3 at the back. We shall see, but Abdelmagoud making his 15th cap for Egypt today, as Behic goes down under the challenge, and that will be a free kick to Australia inside their own half. Just gets pulled down as tries to skip past the substitute Abdelmagoud as we reach the next hydration break in this match. Australia 1, Egypt 1. A big finish to this one to come. But let's head to Wimbledon and get all the latest with James Gregg.
Well, the only match ongoing on the grounds at the moment here at SW19 is on centre court. Felix Auger-Aliassime, the unheralded Canadian, the 25-year-old third seed, is a set to the good against the young American Michael Zheng, who's a bit of a breakout star. He came from the American college system and came through qualifying to have his place here in round 3. So Auger-Aliassime a set to the good. We're on serve, I should say, in the second set. Wins earlier for Djokovic and Sabalenka and Sinner, and of course our commentary on Going On Sports Extra. Now, here's one. You'll appreciate this as a commentator, Ailey. If Felix Auger-Aliassime makes it through this match, his opponent will be Alejandro Davidovich Fokina. So good luck to whoever is commentating on that potential matchup in round 4.
Yeah, not one I would look forward to that one, I have to say, but I have huge admiration for tennis commentators. That is quick sport to commentate on. You ever tried?
No, not tennis. I mean, I have all admiration for all commentators across the world. I like tennis. I wasn't very good at tennis. I prefer cricket.
You're dressed for cricket.
No, well, all in white today, yeah.
All in white.
But a bit of TMS, you can't beat it.
Okay, lovely. That breaking news that Kelly brought us
I enjoy it.
At half-time with regards to England's kick-off time against Mexico. So reports coming through that FIFA are looking at changing that kick-off time, moving it from a 1 a.m. kick-off time in the UK to 7 p.m., which is noon kick-off in Mexico City because of storms in the area. That has not been confirmed yet, but the expectation is that it will be moved. And it would have been on, obviously, much, much later in the evening in Mexico. 12 o'clock midday at the Azteca.
Yeah, I may be wrong, but I think I was reading that bars were due to stay up until 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
May be wrong with that, but that will
like
probably change, won't it? Or will they still be getting the sort of
I'm glad you're worried about whether people will still get a drink. I was more concerned with what the conditions are going to be like at midday in Mexico City in comparison to the evening.
I just think there's so much pressure on the weather people to make that call. We've seen some poor calls over the years, though, haven't we? Weather calls. 1987. You weren't born there. Then maybe
I was born in 1987. Yeah, I do remember. I do vaguely remember that, actually.
Do you?
Yeah.
Have you down for that old?
Yeah, maybe I don't remember it from the actual time, but I remember it being a story spoken about. That the what was it, a tornado or something? A hurricane? What's the difference?
Yes, what a great question. 85058.
Somebody can let us know. We are back underway in Dallas. Australia won, Egypt won. Australia on the attack down the right-hand side. But that is well won by Hafez. Australia, though, do keep possession. And down goes under the challenge as the ball comes in. And Aaron Kunda trying to get on the end of that, but headed clear. And now an opportunity for Egypt. Hassan, the substitute, trying to run past Behic, wins the throw-in. So Hassan has come over onto this right-hand side. Omar Marmoush playing more on the left. And it does look like they will still be playing in a similar formation.
Still a back four. Abdul Magood just sitting in front of the back four. And the ball now is playing in that sort of holding midfield position.
He's got plenty of tricks, Hassan. Very dangerous ball carrier, very quick. So another threat down this right-hand side, alongside Hani, who is playing fullback but gets very high. Mohamed Hani, which may well be why Abdul Magood was put on to sort of protect that back forward slip in when Hani goes higher, but Hassan on the ball now, again facing up. Behic cuts inside this time. He's not got many options and he's had to go right cross-field ball, and it's really well judged out over onto the far side to Hafez. And now the ball comes back onto the right. A lot of switch of play for Egypt, not quite getting the ball into that danger area. Hassan will try again. Now he's got Hani on the overlap, and this time Hani launches it in, but it's cleared by Harrington only as far as the goal scorer Ashur, and he's dragged that shot so far wide it's almost gone off at the corner flag.
I think he's having a debate with his manager there. I don't know what the debate is over. He dragged his shot well wide.
Australia making a couple of changes as well. Aydin Hustich coming on, as is Mohamed Toure. So Chris Sutton fist pumping next to me. This is what the Aussies will want to see. Well, certainly you want to see it.
Well, I mean, you know, you're talking about a young striker who Norwich City bought him for £3 million from Randers. The Danish, it's a Super League. I mean, he made such an impact at Carrow Road in the yellow and green of Norwich City. A hat-trick on debut, I think. He got another hat-trick before the end of the season. And as I said, he's still got a lot of work to do, a young man, but certainly knows where the back of the net is.
He does, so he's come on for Irankunda. The other change is Hrustic, who's more of a central midfield player, has come on for Volpato. Does that surprise you? He's been quite lively.
Yeah, maybe just fresh legs, but Hrustic has great quality. Sort of over the years, he's shown that is he playing in the Dutch Division 1 now? He was part of that Eintracht Frankfurt team, which was pretty handy. Good from set plays. So he'll want to make his mark.
He was at Nottingham Forest as a youth player, Ajdin Hrustic. Another one of your favourite teams, Chris?
Yeah. I used to support them when I was younger, Nottingham Forest. It's where I was born, Ailey, if you're interested.
I knew you supported them. Nice to have the context as Australia come down the left-hand side. Toure with an opportunity to try and run at the back line, just lets the ball go past them, can't quite get back on the end of it, but Australia keep possession. Metcalf, ball in behind to Behic, first time cross, front post, it's cleared, but it will... Oh, he's done well to keep it in there, Hassan, has he? Yes, he has. I thought it was going to be an Australian throw-in, but just reached out a leg and kept it in, but Australia do win it back, and they come forward again down this left-hand side. Metcalf forced backwards, though, to Harrington.
I suppose a lot of Aussies, will be thinking they would have liked to have seen Irankunda just come out to the left-hand side for a bit and match up against Hani, 1v1 situations, and use his dribbling ability. Him getting the hook.
Lovely play from Harrington. It looked like the simple ball was back to Suter, and he finds a way to get it into the midfield, into O'Neill, to keep Australia moving forward, which they do now down the right-hand side, with Jackson Irvine just skipping away from the challenge to keep possession. Australia just over the halfway line in Egypt's half. Working the play, working the passes, trying to create the space.
They've been a better football team, there's no doubt about that, the Aussies. They've got some good technical players. They have kept the ball well. They could just do with that sort of brilliance in the final third. You think of the players of yesteryear, Mark Viduka, Harry Kewell. They're just lacking that star quality, that star talent. Maybe it'll come. Irankunda, Toure.
Maybe now that Toure's on, we will see that little bit of quality. He's only scored twice for the national team, but this is only his 13th cap. He's got 14 goals last season for Norwich. Like you said, Chris, a hat-trick on his debut for the Canaries. So he certainly does know the way to goal.
Ladies and gentlemen,
as Australia come forward again, just into the area. Shot blocked and cleared, but Harrington gets in front of Salah to head it forward. Only as far as an Egyptian head, and there's a body down in the area. It's Hafez. He's got himself back up on his feet as Australia come forward again. Edge of the penalty area, chop out onto the left foot to Irvine, playing it across the front of the penalty area. Metcalf, the little run in behind by Behic, but Metcalf chooses to keep possession in a more central position with Irvine. And now they work it out onto the right, where there is space for Truen. Back in again to Irvine, and Australia keeping the ball well, but just trying to drag Egypt out. At the moment, they are in a back five of their own. Bodies all back there as Irvine makes the run in behind, but in it comes. And looking for the run of Hrustic, who's just on the pitch, but Asher gets there ahead of him, and then his pass to Hafez just goes straight out, and it's Hafez who was struggling, and he's back down again.
And if I'm the Aussies, I wouldn't be giving this back. They've put a high press on, and Hafez has gone down with cramp. Egypt have kicked the ball out, but why should the Aussies give that back?
It wasn't a deliberate pass out of play, was it?
I thought it was. I think Hafez left it, but it's not a head injury. He sat down. It looks like, and I'm not a medical expert, Ailey, as you well know, it looks like it's a bit of cramp in both calves. That's the old cramp stretch the Egyptian physios are doing.
A little bit of
maybe we'll see some
electrolytes as well.
Maybe we'll see some spray again.
Maybe he'll work the last time.
He's actually flicked out himself.
Yeah.
Well, interesting to see the way the Aussies will go with this.
Well, they are going to make a change, and it is Hafez who's going to be coming off. Trezeguet is going to make his way on for Egypt. So a left winger by trade, attacking change by Hassan. Trezeguet scoring in the group stages against New Zealand in that victory, and he's a popular figure, Trezeguet. His 99th cap for his country today. And Australia give the ball back. You have a look in your face that says you would not have done that.
Well, they haven't. I mean, the Aussie teams over the years, they haven't always sort of done stuff like that, have they? They haven't always been that sporting. I think I'm talking about all forms of sport here, cricket being one of them.
Couldn't possibly comment. But yeah, I think there are a few that would have wanted the Aussies to keep possession there.
You know, a bit of cramp and you flick the ball out and think that the opposition should throw the ball back to you. I'm not sure about that at all.
Well, we've reached the 80-minute mark. 10 minutes to go to find a winner in this knockout match between Australia and Egypt, locked together on one apiece. But Australia have got a free kick midway between the halfway line and the edge of the penalty area, left of centre. And again, it is Aidan O'Neill who stands over it. And again, this is an opportunity for the Aussies.
Yeah, brilliant delivery for the goal. O'Neill, the own goal in the end, but the ball put in such a good area.
Doesn't go into the same area, but does go towards the same target. Suter heads it in towards the penalty spot. Irvin can't get it under control. It's a snapshot from the edge from Metcalf, and Australia keep possession, looped high into the air. Toure wins the header. Suter is there, and it's into the arms of the goalkeeper, and it will be a free kick for Egypt. And I think it's Rabia that's down this time with the head knock, and the Egyptian players are not happy about Suter's aggression going to head the ball there.
Well, Harry Suter is entitled to go and try and win the ball, as Toro does well. It's a long ball, he knocks it up there, both in and around the penalty spot. Suter eyes on the ball, Rabia eyes on the ball. Suter wins it, and then he clatters into Rabia. These things happen. The Egyptian players unhappy. Rabia has a few rolls, but he's back on his feet, looks a little bit winded. Maybe needs to get in the gym.
Does that help you with being winded?
You just get a better core.
You're not a medical expert.
No.
Or a
an
fitness instructor either.
An expert in anything.
Egypt coming forward now down this left side with Hafez driving towards the left edge of the penalty area, drops it back to Ashur, gets it back now. Again, left edge of the penalty area, tries to take on Truen, but Truen does well, as does Cherkati, and Australia will win the goal kick, and a round of applause and support from the goalkeeper for some of that defensive work in front of him.
Yeah, Cherkati did really well. Well, Truen initially up against Trezeguet, experienced Trezeguet. Good pedigree, had a few years at Aston Villa, didn't he? He can play, so it shows a bit of strength off the bench from Egypt, but the Aussies have dealt with the Egyptian attack pretty well.
They have indeed, and Trezeguet, like you say, does offer another option. Didn't play often for Aston Villa.
Well, he fell out, didn't he, with Steven Gerrard?
Yeah, and he did his ACL as well, which didn't help towards the end, and was never really got back into the team after that.
I can't remember a game, he'll probably go and score now, where Mo Salah has been this ineffective. He doesn't look fit. There's something not quite right. I know he hasn't had a great season at Liverpool, but he's been a passenger for Egypt. That means he'll have his moment, doesn't it?
Well, he will now that you've said it. Yeah. But he's running out of time if he's going to have it before the 90 minutes is up, because we've got 7.5 of the 90 left, and we are locked at one apiece. But we've had some big endings to games in this first round of knockout matches.
Yeah, a lot of late goals.
Late controversy yesterday as well, with the Croatia goal that was disallowed. That came after a late Portugal.
A chip in the ball.
The chip in the ball. Were you aware of the snickometer?
No, not in football.
You would be aware of it in cricket.
Yeah.
Egypt coming forward over that halfway line now, out to the left-hand side to Marmouche. Cuts back inside. Now Egypt will move it left to right to Hani. He's got the support of Hassan. He's on the ball now. A couple of little step overs, a flick, and he gets past Behic. Cross in, it's a good one. Looking for that far post to Trezeguet, goes all the way through though, and a little dummy by Asher gives Australia an opportunity to get a foot in, but Egypt pick up possession on the halfway line. Hassan again. Box a trick since he's come on. Hassan, ball in behind, looking for the run of Hani. Lovely ball across, and again, there is an Australian body diving to clear that, but it's Asher with it. 25 yards or so from goal. Plays it out again to Hassan on this right-hand side, this time onto his left foot. A nice cross again, and a punch from Beach to knock it clear, and that's the first time Beach has really been called into action in this second half.
I can't in the whole game, really. He's had a quiet evening. Hassan has given Egypt something on this right-hand side. Little lefty, you mentioned, box of tricks, giving them a bit of impetus now, but Beach dealt with that cross well.
Here he is on the ball again, coming inside, looking towards the far post to Trezeguet, heads it down, but there's nobody there for Egypt, and Australia just launch it clear. It'll come back, but that's a poor header, and it's won by Australia. Now the counter is on, lovely ball through the lines, over to the right-hand side, into the area, left foot shot blocked. We'll get another go at it, cross comes in, and Egypt somehow get it clear. But that, for a moment, looked like a real opening for Australia, but they're still on the ball with Suter in the middle of the pitch, and again through to Truen on this right side, into the penalty area. His cross is blocked. It'll be a corner. Lovely passage of play from Australia on the counter-attack.
Yeah, and Truen, hands on head. He knows that his cross should have been better. In fairness, Egypt defend the cross well, get out and block the ball, but a couple of players in the middle there. Toure free in the centre of the goal, 6 yards out. Just that final ball letting them down. They've been the better team. The two of them, you think Australia deserve to go through more than Egypt, but can they work something from this corner?
You're going to have to try into the final 3 minutes. An opportunity for Australia from the corner kick on the far side. Hrustic stands over it, a congested penalty area to aim at. In it goes. Irvin wins the header, flicks it on. Doesn't fall for Suter. Egypt trying to get it clear, but it's going to break again to Hrustic. The blocked shot falling at his feet, and he gets it back into the area again. Metcalf, but it's punched clear by Shabir. And now Asher goes down under the pressure from Behic. A silly free kick really to give away, and Egypt win possession back.
We saw on a couple of occasions Hrustic, his quality. Lovely left foot, the initial corner flicked on by Irvin at the near post. Actually, Harry Suter there heads the ball back and away from goal. And then another opportunity to fizz a left-footed cross in. And Shobe did well to come and fist it away.
Well, it is Egypt on the halfway line, on the ball. Can they create the opportunity, the one chance to end this game in 90 minutes and send them through to the last 16 for the first time in their history? It would be just a second World Cup victory. Hassan trying to skip past Behic, goes down. Behic has a little word to say to him for that, because he thought it was soft, as did the referee, and it's going to be an Australian goal kick.
Well, he throws himself to the floor, Hassan. Another one for the simulation game. We've seen a few divers in this World Cup, haven't we? It's a good debate who the biggest diver is.
Have you got a favourite?
Well, there's an English centre forward who throws himself down. Can I say that?
Well, you have.
Yeah. But the referees have been really good on that, I think. Not falling for it.
They've let quite a few things go at times, some of the referees.
But should he not be booked there if he dives, Hassan? You should be booked for simulation.
Kept his cards in his pocket so far today, the Uruguayan referee.
Do you think he's got cards in his pocket, or do you think...
Maybe that's what the guy in the crowd was waving. He nicked it on the way in.
Yeah, he maybe left them in the dressing room.
Well, we are into the final minute of the 90. Australia and Egypt locked one apiece. A place in the last 16 awaits. Will we have late drama here in Dallas, as we have done in a number of these last 32 ties? 5 goals scored in 5 different ties from the 86th minute onwards. So drama has been a factor, and Egypt trying to create it now. Ball over the top, looking for Trezeguet, heads it back, and it's cleared behind. So it will be Egypt's first corner of the match in the 90th minute, as 5 minutes is raised on the board. 5 minutes for one of these teams to try and find a little bit of magic to send them through to the last 16, and Egypt have a corner.
It's a good ball from Attir, actually. Trezeguet's made a bit of a difference. Left-hand side to Egypt, heading the ball across, and it headed behind.
Marmouche, both arms raised. Corner kick from the far side, goes short. And it comes now, looking for that far post where Salah will pick it up. Will he be able to keep it in? He does, and he manages to drop it to Hassan. Well played by Salah, just outside the area. Flicked in it goes, won by Harrington. And there is an opportunity at the back post for Abdelmagoud, but it was always falling uncomfortably for him, and he couldn't quite contort his body to get a touch on it. He was in an offside position, but it was flicked on by Harrington, so I would think the goal would have stood. But Egypt come forward again. Right touchline with Hassan. Up against Metcalf. Cross in, again far post, again Trezeguet tries to take it down, but able to be cleared by Truan. Only as far though as the goal scorer Asher, and his ball over the top. Again Truan is able to flick it out, but an Egypt throw-in level with the edge of the penalty area.
Yeah, and a good little period for Egypt, pushing back Australia. Australia defending deep with that back 5. Asher,
midway between the halfway line and the penalty area, spreads it out to this right-hand side, which is certainly where the vast majority of Egypt's attacking has come from in this second half, particularly with the introduction of the man on the ball now, Hassan, who just flicks a little left foot, shifts it and moves down the line, gets the cross in, but it's blocked, and now it's headed clear by Behic and picked up by Toure. Good touch from Toure, but he's under pressure and he tries to pass it back to Behic, and he's passed it all the way out for a corner kick to keep the pressure right on Australia.
Yeah, that's horrible from Toure, the Norwich City centre-forward, back to goal. On the touchline, 25 yards out there. I don't know what he was thinking. He hammered the ball out for a corner, and Mo Salah.
And then he shouted at Behic for not getting on the end of it.
Remarkable blame culture there. Can Mo produce a bit of magic?
Well, he is taking this corner from the near side touchline now. His right arm is raised. In swinger from Mo Salah. In it goes, looking for an Egyptian body, but it's Suter that gets to it first, and now it's launched just high up into the air, and Salah will reclaim possession for Egypt. Gets the ball back, and this time again it goes in, and it's a great delivery, and what a save by Patrick Beach to deny Rami Rabia what would certainly have been the match winner here in Dallas. Outstanding goalkeeping. Great delivery from Salah, great header from Rabia, but what a hand from Beach.
Yeah, brilliant left hand, what a ball from Mo Salah over near the right hand touchline, and Rabia must think he scored.
Corner in again, opportunity for Egypt. It's fallen to Salah, left foot into the palms of Beach. But what a moment for Egypt, and Australia might have been the better of the two sides, but Egypt have had 2 huge opportunities in this second half.
Yeah, the ball was absolutely bang on from Salah, and Beach was going to his right hand side, And all of a sudden, reacts, gets a big left hand to the ball. Rabia heading it pretty centrally there, but that was sensational. It really was a tremendous piece of goalkeeping.
It is still Egypt coming forward, though. Attia on the ball to this right-hand side, to Mo Salah, who's driving towards the area, plays it back to Attia. His shot, though, blocked by Irvine, but it's going to come back to Egyptian feet, and they will keep the pressure on. We are now into the final 30 seconds. One apiece. Egypt pushing. Australia launching it clear. Nobody up there in a golden shirt, though, so Shobir comes out of his goal, and Egypt will again move the ball forward. And you can hear the drums of the Egyptian supporters urging their team forward in these dying seconds of the game. Hassan on this right-hand side looks inside for an option all the way across to Ashur, midway between the halfway line and the penalty area. This time it goes long. Nice ball to the right-hand side to Salah, towards the right edge of the penalty area. Cuts it onto his right foot, tries to skip past. Lovely pass to Hassan. Shot is blocked. Wonderful play again from Salah. Slips the ball through to Hassan. His shot blocked by Australian bodies, and there is the full-time whistle. This one will go all the way. There are a couple of Egypt players just down on their knees. They had the opportunities, they had the chances in this second half. A golden opportunity for Marmoush, missed. Australia drew level, but Rabia right at the end denied by an unbelievable save from Beach. It's finished after 90. Australia won, Egypt won.
And then Hassan right at the death. Salah, Mo Salah's finally come to life. First of all with the ball in for Rabia, and then Hassan at the end. I think it's heading in. You know, he's on 14 yards out, and he, with his right foot, I think it's bending into the far corner, and Harry Suter's big right knee comes out and makes the block. And just seeing the save again from Beach. Ball whipped in from the right, left-footed, in swinging, and Beach takes a step to his right-hand side. Looks beaten, does Beach, but somehow gets his left arm out and over the bar. Tremendous goalkeeping, and we go to extra time. Some game.
It has been some game. It has lacked at times the little bit of magic in the final third, in the penalty area, but it's certainly been very competitive across the piece, across the 90. They couldn't be separated. At the end of 90 minutes, Kelly, it's Egypt 1, Australia 1.
Ailey, thank you very much for that. Chris, you're right, it's been an entertaining game, if not necessarily a high-quality game at times.
Yeah, do you know, I think the Aussies had the better of it overall, but you go back to that chance from Mamouche. I mean, not Premier League quality, that finish just at the start of the second half. I mean, it was seconds into the second half. He goes in one-on-one. That would be the game there, dead and buried. And then Australia got control, got back. I mean, I know it was an own goal. Wonderful ball in the delivery. Suter has that physical presence, but didn't get a touch, and he headed it into the back of his own net. And then the Aussies were dominating, but then the longer it went, Egypt came back again, and there's been sort of ebb and flow in the game. And at the end, Hassan's made a difference off that right-hand side for them. Diminutive player, good little dribbler. And Mo Salah, we hadn't seen him all game, and then he pops up with a couple of moments. So, I mean, extra time, it's a very, very difficult one to call this.
Very difficult to call, so we'll be back with you very shortly to find out which way this one goes. So Australia against Egypt has gone to extra time. There's an 11 o'clock kickoff between Argentina and Cape Verde, but at least they know what time they're playing. John Murray, it's not necessarily the case for England.
No, that's right, Kelly. For anyone who is just tuned in and has not heard about this, reports first emerged here in Mexico City that the authorities are planning to change the kickoff time for the England-Mexico match on Sunday. So original time in the UK, a 1 a.m. start on Sunday morning. This would bring it back to 7 o'clock on Sunday evening. So here in Mexico City, it would be a midday kickoff. And the reason for this is that there are reports of the potential for thunderstorms and lightning in Mexico City around about the original kickoff time. So what's happened now is, if you were listening at half-time, the suggestion was that there was a FIFA statement on the way, which kind of suggested that would confirm this change of kick-off time. Our understanding now is that the Football Association have asked for more time to examine that forecast, and also they're unhappy about the late notice for this change of plan. When I spoke to the FA, I was in touch with them. I was told they were aware of reports but had not heard anything. So we're waiting, Kelly, to find out what happens next and whether there will be confirmation. And the plan for England is that they are flying to Mexico City today. They were due to train, or are due to train, in Mexico City tomorrow, which is unusual. Of course, everyone knows, I would imagine, about the change in altitude. This match being played way high above sea level, over 7,000 feet above sea level. So the plan was for England to train around about 4 o'clock local time here in Mexico City tomorrow before they do their pre-match media tomorrow evening. I'm not sure whether that would necessarily change those plans, but obviously a change in kick-off time would be a quite dramatic change. And also two other factors here as well. You know, we do have to think about the supporters, don't we? My expectation would be that anyone who's coming to this match would probably be in situ on Saturday, but I suppose that's not necessarily the case. And also, remember the previous Mexico match in the last 32 against Ecuador, that was delayed. The kickoff was delayed by over an hour. And after Mexico won that, there were frenzied celebrations in the city, which actually resulted in 4 people dying on the streets of Mexico City in amongst those celebrations. There were over a million people, they say, on the streets. Many of them gathered around the Angel, which is the big column, which is the Independence Monument, which is actually very close to where I'm speaking to you from here. And so many people were gathering around that, and people were caught in crushes there as well. So two other factors which may or may not be coming into this, but FIFA, you know, in the rules, they do have the right to cancel, reschedule or relocate matches as a result of concerns over health, safety, security or force majeure, and which is unforeseeable events. The weather comes underneath that bracket, and there is a suggestion as well that the Brazil-Norway match, which is due to kick off at 9 p.m. UK time, could actually be moved back 30 minutes. So anyway, these discussions continue, and we'll have more news later.
John Murray, thank you very much for that, bringing us the very latest on the news that England's kickoff might be moved against Mexico from 1 a.m. Monday morning to 7 p.m. Sunday evening. We'll let you know exactly what's happening with that one. We'll talk to John later. In the meantime, we're going to head back to Dallas for extra time in the game between Australia and Egypt with Chris Sutton and Ailey Barber.
We are underway for the first period of extra time, and we've seen the first yellow cards. And Kelly, you mentioned Hossan Hassan and being quite lively on the touchline. Well, I think that it's him that's picked up the first yellow card.
Was his brother?
Or it might have been his brother. They're twins.
Yeah.
And they're very alike. But it might have been
I'm
Ibrahim,
going for his brother.
or it might have been Hossan. I think it was Ibrahim. So the first yellow card, which does prove that he has some in his pocket, goes to the Egyptian coaching staff as a free kick was awarded to Australia. They have made a couple of changes as well, the Aussies. Our Mabil has come on to replace Connor Metcalfe on the left-hand side, and Paul Auken-Engsler is on as well to replace Aidan O'Neill. So O'Neill's delivery not there, so it comes in instead from Mabil, and it is headed clear by an Egypt head. Jackson trying to keep possession on the edge of the penalty area, which he does. Mabil in, flick in behind, looking for the continued run of Mabil. Nice play as he tries to put it back into the path of Hrustic, but Egypt win it back.
Set his standards, Mabil, hasn't he? First of all, the ball in from the right-hand side was absolutely bang on. No takers from the Aussies in the middle, and then really cute little pass.
Plays his football in Spain, in the Spanish second division at Castellón. A left winger, actually can play on either flank, but playing today it looks like on that left-hand side where he's come on for Metcalfe. But it's Egypt on this left-hand side trying to create something, and we talk about the importance of the timing of goals. You do feel like one in this extra time period would settle this game if there was a goal to come.
Yeah, and Egypt had a really strong end to the game, didn't they? Then the Aussies in, hence why we see the changes from Australia.
Hassan, who is one of the reasons why there's been such a good start, and Mo Salah gets an opportunity from just outside the 6-yard box, and he fires it over the top of the crossbar. It fell onto a slightly weaker foot for Salah, but again an opening for Egypt in the opening minutes of this extra time period, and it's fallen to their talisman Mo Salah.
Yeah, and should do better, should hit the target. Hassan has made all the difference for Egypt on that right-hand side, and left-footed cross in. I don't know whether it was fortunate by Mamouche or by design, but fizzed into him in and around the penalty spot. He got a right boot on it, and the ball bouncing to Mo Salah, who right-footed. Couldn't find the target, high and wide.
Another opening for Egypt, but it's Australia coming forward now. Under pressure, Ashur, and he goes down, and he will win the free kick under the challenge of Toure.
Shouldn't have picked him up, should I, Mo Toure? He hasn't.
I don't know if he was listening and you made him nervous, perhaps.
Hasn't had a great game so far.
So far, but we do have just under 38 minutes to change that. Egypt with Hassan. He loves a step over, Hassan, doesn't he? I mean, not even crossed the halfway line and he's pulling over a couple of little step overs, but what a difference he's made on that right-hand side.
He's positive, isn't he? Wants to challenge defenders, 1v1s. That's what they've lacked, Egypt. They've lacked that spark. He's provided it.
Marmouche trying to feed the ball into Trezeguet, but intercepted and back with Beach, who pulled off an outstanding save right at the end of the second half, which we're getting another look at just now. And that, for a goalkeeper, is every bit as good as a goal.
Yep. Incredible save where he took a step to his right. Beach looked beaten, and then all of a sudden you see the big left hand of the Aussie come and flick the ball over the bar.
Can Australia reap the rewards from that? Egypt will be ruining a couple of missed opportunities. That one denied by the save, but the one from Marmouche at the start of the second half, he had the goal gaping almost, just had to beat Beach, and he put it wide. Had that got in, Egypt would be heading through to the last 16, but as it stands, it is one apiece in the first period of extra time. Egypt coming forward, ball looking for Trezeguet, cut out easily by Truen. Now Irvine trying to find the substitute Mabel, but he's done well to win it back. Truen into Irvine again, just losing control of the ball momentarily, but scrambles it clear. Toure under pressure, but Jackson Irvine has already won the free kick.
Did well, Irvine, over by the right hand touchline. I think Mo Toure, though, space in behind, has to offer up in behind. Coming to the ball, that's not his strongest part of his game. I think he's better than Kunda in that respect, but he's got to make sure he has variation, or he adds variation to his game and gives the Egyptian centre-halves something to think about. Don't become predictable.
Australia on the ball, Egypt pressing high though, but Suter able to come clear with it and feed it into the midfield, and dropped into the path of Okonengsler, the substitute. Australia keeping possession, albeit a little bit scrappily. Heading back towards his own goal now, Okonengsler, but he manages to spin well and now plays it through, looking for the run of Toure. Left edge of the penalty area, he needs support. Mabel's trying to provide it, but he had to hold on to the ball a little too long. Behic now trying to skip past Hani, goes down clutching the right side of his head, claiming that he was caught. And it's nothing given, and he sort of just runs in to Hani more than anything else.
Yeah, he takes a whack on the ear, a thick ear. Behic, but that was better from Toure, left-hand side of the box, positive play, got crowded out in the end, but I don't mind that. Try and score a goal, be direct, be positive, don't take the easy option.
7 minutes off the extra time played so far. Egypt with The only opportunity, Mo Salah firing it over the top of the bar, so we are still locked on 1 apiece. Egypt with the ball on this left-hand side. Atia back to Rabia. Hassan, their head coach, out there directing again from the touchline. Almost on the pitch at times, he's so far out of his area. Now the ball spread to the right. Hassan, the crowd beginning to lift, trying to urge their team forward, and it is the Egyptian fans who will feel the most positive, the way that they finished the 90 minutes really on the front foot, putting Australia under real pressure. Popovic will be wondering how he can try and turn the momentum, because it is still Egypt looking dangerous. Long ball over to the right-hand side to Hassan, takes it down, faces up Behic on the right edge of the penalty area, skips it onto his right foot, gets a cross in, there's no takers, it's too high in any case, all the way out for a Australian throw-in. But he really has been a bit of a difference maker. Hassan, who's born in France, he's played all his football in Europe, now playing in Spain.
Yeah, and Behic has got a problem, hasn't he, with him driving to the byline there. You know, he always wants to come inside on his left foot. Left-footed player, but giving Behic plenty to think about, driving to the byline, crossing that one in right-footed.
Salah over the top, looking for Trezeguet. Clipped clear by Cherkati. And Australia just can't get out of their own half at the moment, as Egypt once again win possession back. Ball looking for Trezeguet again, down the left-hand side, takes a touch and is forced to check back under pressure. But he's got plenty of red shirts in support. One of them, Rabia, squares it across the middle of the pitch to Ibrahim and out to Hani. Thinks about the cross, instead he goes to Hassan, who's wider on that touchline, and again he'll try and shift the ball past Behic. He's level with the right edge of the penalty area. Drops it this time to Hani. Now the ball comes in, looking for Trezeguet, but it's a little too high. It does come off, I think, an Australian body, so possibly should have been an Egypt throw-in, but it looks like it's gone the way of Australia, and the Aussies getting the break of it that time.
Yeah, they get one in their favour. I think they've had a few against. I think Cherkati just doing enough. Yeah, you're right in that Australia can't really get up the pitch. It's been a problem really since they made the substitution and Motori has come on. That's a better touch from him, but Irvin has a poor touch himself.
And now they've given away a free kick as well to Ashur inside the Australian half. Goes down under the pressure.
Yeah, they've lost their rhythm, haven't they, Australia?
They have.
Their flow in that midfield area. And they've really dominated for much of the game. It's all Egypt now.
It is, and it's Hassan causing all sorts of problems again on the ball down that right-hand side. He's got Hani again for company. Little ball in behind, looking for Salah. Salah gives him a thumbs up. There was just too much on the pass. Nice idea, though, from Hani. Just trying to play it through the lines to Salah. So Australia on the ball. Could do with keeping a little bit of possession here, because they have struggled against Egypt, but again, that's a bit of a poor pass to Truen. They get it back though, and now an opportunity down this right-hand side for Mabel, but the flag is up. It's gone out of play. An Egypt throw.
Yeah, I mentioned Motori, I think, has been a bit of a problem for Australia in the fact that when there is space in behind that Egypt backline, he's always coming to feet, not on the same page as the other players in the Australian team.
Egypt again on the ball. You feel almost that if there is going to be a goal, it's going to come the way of the African side in this matchup. They have been positive. They have been on the front foot. Lovely cross-field ball once again to Hani. Inside now to Ashur. Nobody in the box though for Egypt, and he's forced to take the shot on from 25 yards, Ashur, and it's harmlessly wide.
Yeah, left-footed, a long way out. That was optimistic. Bit of a tired shot in the end. Wasn't it well wide of Beach's goal? Yeah, I think I can smell penalties.
Well, we've had a few of them already in this round.
12 each attempts at goal.
Yeah, that
so
is.
It feels, doesn't it, Ali, like it's been really evenly matched. We thought it would be.
The game itself maybe hasn't quite played out the way we expected. I've really enjoyed the game, but the result certainly, there was an expectation that this one might go the distance, which it has.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say 2 more goals than I thought there'd be in the game. Who knows, there may be another.
Australia, a chance to get over the halfway line, and it's just a really, really poor pass.
And that's Mabel and Chakati just not on the same wavelength at all. Mabel coming short, Chakati saying you got to make a move in behind. Playing the pass and going out, or giving it straight back to Egypt.
We've just got a couple of minutes left of the first period of extra time. Still 1 apiece. Running out of time if we are to have a winner before we head to the penalty shootout. Paraguay and Morocco, the 2 teams who have advanced with a penalty kick, and we see a yellow card given to Hassan for just pulling back Behic. I mean, I think that's as clear a yellow card as you will see.
Yeah, and one of the loudest cheers we've had, I think. Maybe sarcastic cheers from the Aussies. Can they be sarcastic, Aussie fans? I think they can, can't they? Hassan, yeah.
We're giving them a tough time today, the Australians.
My brother lives there now, my brother doesn't, but he quite likes it over there.
Well, this is an opportunity for Australia. Their goal came from a set piece. They now have another one here, midway between the halfway line and the edge of the penalty area, just left of centre. An opportunity to perhaps utilise some of the big guys in their squad. In it comes, looking for the back post where Chakati was coming in, but it's cleared ahead of him. But he does have a long throw, and we're level with the edge of Egypt's penalty area, so the long
no, he
throw...
doesn't. It's half-time.
No, that's half-time.
That's a bit mean from the referee, isn't it?
An opportunity, perhaps, for Australia to launch in from the long throw. They're not going to get it. So at half-time of extra time, it is still Australia 1, Egypt 1. Let's get the latest from Wimbledon with Abigail Johnston.
I'm on centre court where Felix Auger-Aliassime looks in no mood to be joining former world number 1 Daniil Medvedev as a day 5 casualty. The number 3 seed sailing and up match points in his favourite consistent indoor conditions. The roof was closed after a tie-break opening set, and that was bad news for 22-year-old qualifier Michael Zheng, who had the only 2 break points of that set but could not capitalise and has been kept on the back foot ever since. Now rallying to stay alive, down 2 sets to love. Double match point for Auger-Aliassime at 5-1 and 15-40. He's put a forehand away, so the Canadian looks around triumphantly at this crowded centre court as he moves back into round 4 at the championships for the first time since he made the quarter-finals here in 2021. He joins among noteworthy winners number 7 seed Novak Djokovic, all-time great, who was a 4-set winner earlier in the day. In the women's field, Arina Sabalenka getting it done in straight sets over Yelena Ostapenko, and Coco Gauff surviving a little bit more of a scare over on the number 1 court, dropped a set to Claire Liu before steadying the ship. Yannick Sinner earlier in the day, straight sets for the top seed over Jensen Brooksby.
Thanks, Abigail. Well, Egypt making a change, and they have gone to their bench in terms of a forward area. Hamza Abdelkarim, the 18-year-old striker, is on. He has never scored for his country in his 5 previous caps. What an opportunity to really announce himself on the international scene for his country. He's replaced Omar Marmoush. We can see him out there in the centre circle over the ball, ready to get the second period of extra time underway. Big moment for the young man.
Yes, he was really the youngest player to...
Yes, youngest Egypt player to play at the World Cup.
Plays his football at Barcelona. on loan from Ali. And, I mean, what a time to make your mark. Of course, both managers now will have penalties on the mind. Mamouche must have taken penalties in the past as well, wouldn't he? So let's just see whether the young man can make his mark. I'd like to see more from Australia and them to be braver.
Yeah, it's been all Egypt in this period of extra time so far, but that's a poor pass out, and Behic is onto it, and he's got bodies inside, and now it's Okonengsler, and into the area it goes, and it is the head of Toure that wins it, but it was always going to be a difficult task to get enough power on that to really threaten Shobir. But good ball into the area from Hrustic, and Toure with the header just goes wide of the post.
I think he tries to go for goal. Abdel, a good decisable centre-half for Egypt, just bodies him, and Toure can't get the power. He would have been better just to cushion that ball down to the all-action Jackson Irvine there, who was free on the edge of the box.
Egypt win the ball back again. First touch for Abdel Karim since coming on the pitch, and Trezeguet able to scamper forward, but good defending and tracking back it was by Okonengsler to win the ball back, and then Australia get the free kick just outside their own penalty area.
That was an Aussie rules type challenge, that, from Abdel Karim, the young centre forward. Just a little bit over keen.
He's quite a big boy, isn't he, Abdel Karim? 18 years old, but tall, imposing figure. Just a little bit too physical on that occasion, as the ball in behind finds Toure, right edge of the penalty area. He's looking for options. Mabel trying to give him one, but his cross is blocked, and it will go in towards the feet of Trezeguet. So Egypt with an opportunity to counter.
Better run, Ali, from Toure. In behind, brought the centre half towards the ball, space in behind, made the run. Just that final ball, wasn't it? Just not on point.
Again, that's what's letting Australia down, but in behind again is Toure on the touchline. He crosses, there's nobody there, and it goes all the way through for an Egypt throw-in, and he's getting into those areas, but he's got very little support when he gets up there.
Yeah, but I mean, his cross was terrible. Really could have composed himself and taken a touch, but his movement's better, giving the Egyptian backline plenty to think about now. Will he have his moment?
Oh, the ball through, looking for the run of Salah, who was trying to get in behind the Australian back line. He now goes down, Salah, having got back on the end of the loose ball, and wins the free kick right inside the centre circle. But he knows that had that ball been just a little bit more accurate, he was clean through, Salah.
Yeah, I think it was Attia, where Salah's on the halfway line, is onside, but it's just in his own half, so of course he's onside. But had there been any height on the ball from Attia, Salah would have been one-on-one.
Hassan into Ashur, edge of the penalty area, across it goes, and the shot comes in, slight deflection, but Beach able to just change his feet really quickly. Attia with the strike, took a touch off a defender, and Beach able to react quickly and stop the ball before it got past him. Now Australia coming forward. They seem and feel a little bit higher up the pitch in this second period of extra time. A one for Behic to chase. He does, trying to skip inside. Hani manages to keep possession, and then as Hrustic trying to plays it back in his path, it's cut out, and again Salah on the loose ball, and he goes down and he wins the free kick. He takes it quickly, but the ball was moving, and he will have to retake it. But Australia feel a little bit more on the front foot.
Yeah, they're posing more of a threat, aren't they? First period of extra time, just sat back in. Didn't cause the Egyptian backline any problems. But yeah, seems quite even now, once again, doesn't it? End to end.
As they search for the goal that would make history for their respective nations and win a knockout match for the first time. Hassan down that right-hand side, again looking to try and cross it. It's blocked, and it's hooked out of play for an Egypt throw-in. which again they will try to take quickly but are stopped. Not sure why that was stopped so quickly, but we are back underway. Perhaps just something in the referee's ear.
Yeah, I think there was a handball, but I think it was from Hassan. Doubled up in that wide area restriction. Bezic and tried to cross the ball in, ball bounced back, but it was the Egyptian attacking player who had handled the ball.
Egypt on the ball, just across the halfway line. Looking for options as Attia finds Hassan, who's come a little bit more central. Just moving towards that left-hand side, finds Trezeguet. Mo Salah now out to the right-hand side, so Hassan moving across the pitch as Egypt try and work an opening in towards the substitute. Abdel Karim can't quite get past his defenders that are all around him, the gold shirts, and Australia now win it back. And again, Mabel's looking for the run in behind of Touré, but no accuracy on the ball, so Egypt come forward again. Trezeguet into the path of Ashur, and out now to Salah, right edge of the penalty area, onto that left foot, drops it to Ashur, the goal scorer, takes the strike, and it's come off an Australian head, and it will be behind for an Egypt corner. But again, that looked goal bound from the goal scorer Ashur, flicked by the tall figure of Harry Souttar away from goal.
Yeah, Mo Salah drawing Australian defenders towards him. He lays the ball off, and Ashur getting his shot off once again. Harry Souttar in the way.
Cross comes in from Salah from the corner, headed clear, and you can hear the Egypt fans roaring their team on. Red shirts all around this stadium. They've enjoyed their World Cup. Ball in behind for Hassan, cuts it back, cleared off an Australian body. I think it was Jackson Irvine, and it will be another corner taken quickly by Salah. Out to Attia, across the pitch, and now it comes in, looking for a pocket of Egypt players. Trezeguet was one of them. It will evade him though, and it'll be an Australian goal kick.
I mean, haven't seen the replay on the shot from Ashur. You see it here. Harry Souttar on a couple of occasions has made, he's like a magnet, isn't he? He's like a big farmer, isn't he, in the way of everything. Harry Souttar getting the blocks in, body on the line.
He is indeed.
You could imagine him just shifting big bales of straw, couldn't you, Harry?
In his second World Cup, Harry Souttar missed the last one with an ACL injury. Mo Salah into the area, great feet from Salah, right foot, and again it's Harry Souttar sliding in to deny Mo Salah a record-equaling goal for Egypt, and one that would surely send them through.
Dazzling from Salah on the right-hand side. Goes past a couple of Australian defenders. There he is again, Harry Souttar on the block.
Salah into the area, doesn't get past the first man, but it will fall to Attia, who will launch it back in towards the area, high into the sky here in Dallas. Headed clear again by Souttar, but again it's Egypt who pick up the ball. Ashur, he's got Trezeguet outside him, level with the edge of the area. Cross comes in, Irvin this time, heads it clear, and now there's an opportunity for Australia, and it's Mabel on the right touchline. He doesn't have many options, he's cut back, and Jackson Irvin gets it in the middle of the pitch. Australia now with their foot on the ball. Souttar, it's at the wrong end of the pitch for them though. They'll need to try and work it right to left. 7 minutes of the extra time period to go.
How good has he been as well? Harrington looks like he hasn't broken sweat.
Ball over the top, looking for the run of Truen on that right-hand side. Is he going to be able to keep it in? He does, but then heavy touch just to try and evade.
It's got to be a corner. Has to be a corner. Truen
doesn't seem to be complaining too much.
Well, I think he had a whinge at first, but on with the game. That's careless though.
It is, and it's won back by Purists, and he now goes down clutching his face, but nothing given. Australia will continue. Okenengster looking for the run of Touré, but an Egyptian foot clears the danger. And now Ashur comes forward over the halfway line to Hassan, hugging the right touchline once again. Hani outside him if he needs him, but he's driving towards the area, into the area. Great feet again, into the area, onto the right foot, and a brilliant challenge from Harrington. Great feet from Hassan. I thought he might leave it to Salah, but he opts to go down to the touchline, just tries to get the ball across, and that long outstretched leg of Harrington.
He's been brilliant, hasn't he, on the right-hand side. Hassan and Harrington, last ditch. You think, you get that wrong, you give away a penalty. But what a challenge.
Great challenge, and another opportunity for Egypt from the corner.
It's like both teams, Ailey, that neither team wants penalties.
Well, Egypt certainly making the best chance of trying to avoid the penalty. Salah's ball in, cut out by Irvin, but he picks it up, edge of the area, left foot opportunity, but it's blocked, and now he's forced to send it back to Hani, the deepest player for Egypt. Now the cross comes in from Atia, and it's just evaded. Rabia, who's gone up from the back in the area just over the top of his head, and it will be an Australian throw-in, and they will be delighted to get the ball because they have been under real pressure these last 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, been really pushed back. Last-ditch defending, hanging on in there. That old Aussie grit as Egypt in the ascendancy.
5 minutes left on the clock to find a winner. Egypt again launching the ball forward. Suter heads it clear. This time Toure is able to get on it, takes it down, finds Irvin into the centre circle. A bit of space now for Australia out onto the left-hand side where Mabel is, and he had the run, but he's been taken down right outside the penalty area. The run of Behic was an opportunity. He cut back onto his right foot though and was wiped out. Now this is an opportunity for Australia.
Yep, you mentioned the run of Behic. Underlap from him on the inside. I think he just drew the eye of Hani, and then Nabil dropped inside and his right foot was caught. Yes, about 21 yards out, left-hand side of the box. Will this be a cross or a shot? Suits a right foot at Nabil. Over the ball.
Well, Iran Kunda is the free kick specialist in the Australian squad, and he's gone off, so can someone find the magic?
It's going to be a right footer, isn't it?
Well, Mabel is standing over it at the moment.
Does he shoot? Does he go for glory?
We will see. He's been joined though by Okan Engsler, so perhaps this is going into the mixer. It's not. It will be Mabel. He does shoot, doesn't get past the wall. Australian throw-in down near that corner flag on the left-hand side.
Here comes the long throw. Bit tame, wasn't it? A bit tepid for Mabel.
It was, but an opportunity for Cherkati with his long throw. Going to need to move a couple of security guards out of the way and a couple of photographers, but in it comes, looking for Suter. Tries to flick it on, but free kick is given, and Egypt have taken it very, very quickly, and Australia are out of position, but that is a really poor pass by Salah, looking for the run of Asher. A real opportunity on the break. It goes out for a throw-in. And there's going to be a change being made, and it's going to be a change in goal for Australia.
Change, yeah.
Now this is interesting because this is certainly with penalties in mind, and it is the master coming on to replace the apprentice. Matty Ryan making a first appearance in what is his 4th World Cup. The 34-year-old winning his 105th cap, replacing the impressive Patrick Beach, who has started all 4 games so far in this World Cup. The former Brighton man makes his way on. Well, how do you feel about that?
Well, I think it's good management, isn't it? It's you get on your specialist penalty saver. If one's better than the other, then you get him on. Clearly, Popovic thinks that he's the guy.
Australia come forward, and the pass from Toure, but he's been taken down, and he's clutching that left ankle, looks in a little bit of pain, and they've got another opportunity from a set piece. Australia, Egypt gifting him these opportunities because that was so late from Ibrahim.
Yeah, that's a shocking challenge. I mean, that's bordering on a red. That I mean, it was definitely a yellow, but I mean, that was wild. He goes to ground, Ibrahim, and absolutely takes Toure out.
And it gives Australia an opportunity to put the ball back into the area. There's 1 minute added, which we go into now. 1 minute to try and find a winner. Australia have the opportunity from the set piece. Midway between the halfway line and the edge of the area, left to centre. Egypt are making a change. It is Saber coming on, who scored the goal against Iran to ensure that they came through. He will be replacing Atia, again perhaps with penalties in mind.
He's probably delighted, isn't he, Atia?
Would you be delighted to not have the opportunity to take the penalty?
He may, as I was saying, he may not want that pressure, but you're right, Saber coming on.
Well, Egypt have to survive this free kick if we are to go to penalties. Surely this will be the last opportunity. In it goes, left-footed, looking for Suter at the back post, and it's bounced up. Has that come off a hand? There are bodies in the box. Down on the ground, it fell to Toure, and he got a flick on it. And it looked like it came perhaps off a body, certainly. There weren't too many shouts for a handball, but we're going to stop play because two players down in the area clutching their heads.
Yeah, what a chance for Toure. I'd like to look at it again, but the knockdown, I think it may have just bounced behind him, where he couldn't hook his shot on target. But they have been so dangerous, the Aussies, from set plays.
Yeah, we do get the replay.
You just can't get the connection on it. Toure tries to anticipate where I think it's Truan Chakati actually, who knocks the ball down. And he can't hook the ball on target, and there we go.
So it will be penalties to decide this match between Australia and Egypt. 120 minutes couldn't separate them. The third match of this last 32 round to go to penalty kicks. Will it be Australia? Will it be Egypt at the end of 120 minutes? It's finished. Australia won, Egypt won, Kelly.
Ailey Barber and Chris Sutton are there for us watching this game, all 120 odd minutes of it, and now it goes down to penalties. Egypt, Chris, have a terrible record of late in penalty shootouts. They've lost 4 out of their last 5. Is that relevant when it comes to this one?
Well, they'll be hoping that they prove you wrong, Kelly.
Not prove me wrong, prove the facts wrong.
Yeah. Look, I mean, it's can they change things? I mean, I love the Aussie substitution. Tony Popovich bringing Matty Ryan on.
Yeah.
And I find stuff like that really fascinating. He's clearly the penalty specialist for Australia. But yeah, I mean, I'm one of those. I don't think penalties are a lottery. I think that they are a skill, and it's about who holds their nerve and shows the greater composure. You mentioned Egypt's record. Will that be playing on their minds? Who knows? But I've got to say, I really enjoyed the game.
Yeah, because we thought it might well end up in penalties, but we thought that might be because it sort of was a 0-0, drawn out, kind of not very exciting affair. But there was genuine excitement in this game.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and they went toe to toe in extra time, and parts of the game it sort of ebbed and flowed, and both sides had the moments, and it comes down to penalties, and possibly Argentina. Next in the competition, but the players down there, the penalty takers will be feeling nervous. That the goalkeepers would have done all their work on analysing the opposition and where the penalties are supposing to go, but then there'll be that moment where it'll come down to feel really from the keepers and who's going to be the hero.
Well, this is the thing, and as much as you like this change of keeper, last time Australia did it was in Qatar, which I don't know if you remember. It might start to ring bells. They did it against Peru in the playoff in Qatar, and it was actually Matty Ryan who came off, and then it was Andrew Redmayne who came on and made the... Do you remember there was that big fuss about him coming on, and he did really well in the penalty shootout? Well, this time around, it's Beach who's come off, who's been beached, and it's Matty Ryan who...
You're better than that.
Who comes on... I know. I'm really not, Chris. I'm really, really not. But look...
So he's improved then, Matty Ryan. He must have improved with his...
Well, or maybe that's where he is in the pecking order. Maybe it's Andrew Redmayne, Matty Ryan, and then Beach at the end of it. Do you know what? I'm really resisting the urge to do like Beach Ken jokes from the Barbie movie, because I feel like there isn't much crossover in terms of the audience who are listening to this.
Yeah.
But look,
well, it may be saving Matty Ryan.
It may well be saving Matty Ryan. We'll be able to see that when that penalty shootout gets underway. I mean, look, it's at this stage, we talk about this a lot with penalties, and there isn't very much new to say ahead of penalty shootouts, but it is really about the players who want to take it. That's as important as anything else, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, it's about... I mean, the managers will have an idea, but when it comes to the crunch, it's about... putting your hand up, showing you're confident, and wanting to take one, and believing in yourself. But somebody has to
there's a big cheer as well, Ailey, which suggests that they've picked ends and they know who's going first.
Well, we don't know, because they're still tossing the coin.
It's happened, but they've not communicated it to anybody. That makes sense.
Well, that's a great point, because the Egyptian fans to our right are all cheering, so they must be believing it's at that end. But then we see the Aussies cheering. It's just a happy environment, Dallas.
Everybody's just having a lovely time. That's what's happening.
I think they were just congratulating the referee on his successful coin toss.
I think that might well be it, but both sets of fans definitely look up for this one. They sound as though they're up for this one, and very shortly we'll find out which way they're going to be going. Is it very divided in terms of the ground, or is it quite mixed? Is there very definitely an Egypt end and an Australia end? Because that's not always the case in World Cup stadia.
It's very mixed down the sort of touch lines, but behind the two goals there is a very distinct pocket of red, which is where the penalty kicks will be taken, towards that big pocket of Egypt fans behind the goal. Over to our left, the big pocket of yellow, so they'll be watching from a distance, but it will be towards the Egypt fans, towards our right-hand side, as the two goalkeepers make their way over into the penalty area.
Hassan, I mean, he's very animated, isn't he? I wouldn't like to miss a penalty with him as my manager.
And you can hear the roar now, Kelly. That is the Egypt fans behind that goal, just giving their appreciation to Shobir, their goalkeeper, as he places his towel and his bottle behind the touchline. It will be Australia to take the first penalty, and it will be Harry Souttar to take it up against Shobir. And you talk about Egypt's poor record in penalty kicks. Well, Australia have a very, very good one. They've won 4 out of their 5 penalty shootouts. One being, like you said, to get into the World Cup 4 years ago in Qatar. So Harry Souttar has been a colossus at the back for Australia today. He will take the first penalty. He puffs out his cheeks. He moved forward, right-footed, and he has sent it over the bar. His hands are in his head. And the Egyptian fans behind that goal are celebrating wildly. Advantage Egypt after the first penalty, Chris Sutton.
Well, hapless Harry Souttar. It's an awful penalty. He looked cool, actually, before he kicked the ball, but can only describe it as he's hoofed it a couple of yards over the bar. Sent Shobir the wrong way. But high, very high, nearly into the second tier. What a start for Egypt.
So now for Egypt, stepping up, Mahmoud Saber, who just came off the bench with penalties in mind. He will take the first. He stands on the edge of the area, both arms by his side, straight on, facing up Matty Ryan, who claps his hands together. The referee's whistle blows. Saber with an opportunity to give Egypt the advantage. Shuffles to his left, right-footed, top right-hand corner. Great penalty. The Egypt fans roar. He bows down to the ground and now raises raises his hands and asks the crowd to get further behind them.
Well, I've got to say, Matty Ryan reads the penalty brilliantly, but Saba hits it ferociously, whips his right foot around it, generates so much power and accuracy. That was some penalty.
Right into the side netting. So now Australia, they trail 1-0 in penalties, and it is one of their most experienced players stepping up next. Jackson Irvine, 85 caps before tonight, an opportunity to draw them level, and it's a really cool, calm penalty from Jackson Irvine, and now he shows a bit of emotion. He just side-footed that into the top left-hand corner of Showbeer's net.
A lovely penalty. Had to score it really, didn't he? With Harry Suter missing the first one. Big pressure. Cool as you like, slotted it to Showbeer's left, halfway up the goal. 1-1.
Rami Rabia, the big centre-back for Egypt, takes the ball from the referee, holds it in his hands, says a few words before he places it on the spot. Matty Ryan makes his way between the sticks. Rami Rabia, 33-year-old, with an opportunity to restore Egypt's lead in this penalty shootout. He stares down Matty Ryan, shuffles his feet, moves forward, right-footed. No mistake from the big man from the back. Low and hard into the back of the net. Australia 1, Egypt 2 in the penalty shootout.
Yep, sends the specialist Matty Ryan the wrong way, wraps his right foot around it. Ryan goes to his left. Rabia holds his nerve. Good penalty, wasn't it? Confident penalty.
Confident penalty it was indeed, and up steps now for Australia. Our Mabil. He places the spot, shuffles it between his hands, gives it a kiss and places it down. Every penalty so crucial now for Australia. Showbeer hops up and down on the spot. Mabil, short run up for Mabil. He takes his time, now he comes forward, one step, two, and just places it along the ground. Left-hand side for the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper goes the wrong way. Another cool penalty, Chris.
Took it very well. Yeah, the first player with a short run up, and he looks at Showbeer all the way. Showbeer just starts leaning to his right, goes down. Nabil pops it to his left, and here comes Mo.
Here comes Mo Salah, penalty number 3.
He's not going to miss, is he?
He takes the ball, he places it down, he does look well in his own thoughts at the moment. He stares at the ball, just fixes his shin pads under his socks.
There's a hush, isn't there, now in the stadium?
There is a hush. And there's a few who can't look as well as Mo Salah steps back, edge of the area, straight on. Matty Ryan on the line, shuffles round to his right, left-footed, and he does not miss. Of course he does not miss, Mo Salah. Now the smile comes out. He looked nervous stepping up, Mo Salah. A huge penalty for his country. But that smile we have come to know for so often and so many years in the Premier League came out as that one nestled into the back of the net, and Egypt again have the advantage.
There was a Panenka from Mo Salah. Ryan goes down to his left-hand side. Mo Salah takes the pace off it. We've seen him for Liverpool thunder the ball in to the side. Matty Ryan dived in, but there, just clever, cute.
Now here is a big moment for the 18-year-old Lucas Harrington, who has been magnificent across the 120 minutes. Just his 6th cap for his country, the youngest player in this Australian squad, and he has been given the task of taking this 4th penalty. Oh, and he's hit the bar! And Egypt have won it! They haven't won it. I got ahead of myself. I think the players on the bench thought they'd won it. They all raced onto the pitch. But off the bar, it has come Egypt have one more penalty.
Yeah, celebrations on the Egyptian bench. You feel for the young man, Harrington. You know, there'll be questions asked of why are the two centre-backs taking penalties for Australia. Young man brave enough to step up, but poor penalty off the bar. And this is possibly it then.
Hossam Abdelmagoud. The Egyptian bench have already been out onto the field. They thought they'd won it. They're now back lined up as they look to 25-year-old Abdelmagoud to send them through and win a first ever knockout match for Egypt at a World Cup. Matty Ryan coming out of his goal, the referee asking him to go back. He's just trying to create a little bit of time and space for Abdelmagoud to think about the task that lies ahead of him, but now he steps back. A little shuffle with his feet towards the ball. Shuffle, shuffle, one step, and that is a beautiful penalty. He rips off his shirt. He races towards the corner flag, and now all the Egyptian players flood onto the field. It was such a composed penalty, nestled into the bottom right-hand corner of Matty Ryan, who is now down on his haunches. A short-lived spell at this World Cup for Matty Ryan. His only minutes coming in this penalty shootout. A penalty shootout that Egypt were absolutely perfect in. 4 penalties, 4 goals. They win the penalty shootout 4-2. And they are through to the last 16. And you can see and feel in this stadium what that means to the squad and to the people of Egypt.
Yep, Abdelmagoud, very good, in fact, excellent composure from him to put Egypt into the last 16. Got to say that the Australian experiment, Matty Ryan, I don't think he got a touch on any of the penalties. For a penalty specialist, that's not great, but fair play to Egypt. Thought the penalties were of a very high quality. There'll be questions in the Australian camp about why two centre-backs are stepping up, especially the young kid, Lucas Harrington, to take a penalty when there's older, experienced players in the team who could have taken them. But Egypt go through, tight game, but Egypt have found a way.
And they march on. Argentina or Cape Verde lie in wait for Egypt in the last 16. Hassan is in tears, the Egyptian coach. Him and his twin brother, his assistant, embracing each other, tears streaming down their faces. What a moment for Egypt, what a moment for Egyptian football. And Mo Salah now being engulfed by his teammates and coaching staff with a huge grin on his face. Egypt continue in this World Cup. It finished Australia 1, Egypt 1 after extra time. Egypt winning 4-2 on penalties.
Ailey Barber and Chris Sutton are there bringing you all the action from that game between Australia and Egypt, who win their first ever knockout match at a World Cup to advance to the last 16 of the competition, where they will face either Argentina or Cape Verde. We will bring you commentary of that game. It kicks off at 11 o'clock very shortly. Chris, not much really between these two sides, but a much better game than we thought it was going to be. They took it all the way, and we got the drama at the end.
Yep, thoroughly enjoyed the game, the whole 120 minutes of it. And then, you know, penalties. You mentioned Egypt's terrible record. There had to be a time when, you know, they put that right. As I said, the Australian experiment from Tony Popovic, I mean, poor old Matty Ryan didn't get near one of them, did he?
He did. Did he not go the right way for the first Egypt one?
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say that it was it fingertips? Was it early?
But then
needed to get more of a finger.
Being Panenke'd by Mo Salah might be a low point.
But I think I would have been Panenke'd by Salah, because how many times have we seen over the years?
Not because it was Salah, but just the Panenka. That's what I meant.
But we've seen him thump them. Just because you know, he just puts his foot through a lot of the penalties I've seen Mo Salah score. So really clever from Salah. Matty Ryan sort of sold. And then, but no, the Egyptian penalties, you know, great composure, and you really feel for Harry Souttar, who had a great game for Australia. You know, really important for them defensively, and then the young man Lucas Harrington.